Garden Glow at the Botanical Gardens, both canceled events on Sunday. The Botanical Gardens says if you had tickets for Sunday, you can use them any night through January 3rd. A permanent security force on horseback is coming to downtown St. Louis. Starting next year, the CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management tells Channel 5 about 20 policemen will be patrolling the area every day on horseback. This is not just for big events. St. Louis police already have a mounted police unit. That's for Forest Park, though, so this would expand it to the downtown area. In sports, Blues beat the Blackhawks over the weekend. They'll be at home tonight playing the Predators at 7 o'clock. And the Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13, but really the worst news is that Patrick Mahomes is out the rest of the season after tearing his ACL. Our time now is 5:04, 13 degrees. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunshine in control on this Monday. It's going to get warmer, but it's a cold start this morning. A little breezy this afternoon. Also 42 for the high. Tonight, clear skies 28. Tuesday, sunny. Warming up to 52 on Tuesday, and Wednesday, mostly sunny and 58. This should be the last big Arctic surge that we had over the weekend for quite a while. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
5:05 right now, 13 degrees. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere. Just download the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. It is a Monday morning, another cold day out there, by the way. Went out to start the truck this morning, and it almost didn't start. I was thinking to myself, wow, I should have plugged in the block heater last night, and I didn't even think about it because I drive a diesel, and sometimes when it gets very cold, usually below zero is when I think about it, that truck just about doesn't want to start.
I was nervous about that this morning. I'm in the garage, but I still was nervous, or that my tires were going to go flat because you got to make sure that you have enough air in there, especially during the winter. Yep,
you don't want to let the fuel tank get too low, anything like that. But hopefully we'll make it through this. I heard Dave Murray earlier say this is probably it for a while. Like in terms of Arctic blasts, this is probably it. We're going to get back in the 40s and 50s here this week, which is a good thing. Glad to hear that. So happy that you're with us this morning. A sad day in many ways. The murders that took place of Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah in Australia, just absolutely tragic. Radical Islam strikes again in a country with the strictest gun laws on earth, proving once again that you can't stop terror with the law. If somebody intends to break the law or create havoc, your law against it is not going to stop them from doing it, and it's horrible. We're gonna talk more about what happened there and the victims. You know, the scary thing for us is that our son went there earlier this year. He was on Bondi Beach.
Oh, wow.
Called us. There's obviously one of the most famous beaches there in Australia. There's a camera fixed, a permanent live camera fixed on Bondi Beach. And he went there and called us from in front of that camera. So we were seeing him. We went to the URL and followed it, and we were watching him standing there. And he and his companions had to walk across that bridge, that footbridge, the pedestrian bridge, where you've seen the video of the shooters. They were hiding on that bridge and using the concrete to to pop up and shoot at people and back down, and eventually that's where police shot them, was on that very same bridge where my son had just visited earlier this year. He was describing that to us yesterday. He showed us the pictures, and that is very frightening. So you got that going on. Obviously, the shooting at Brown University, where they apparently still don't have a suspect. And, of course, the left immediately jumped to gun control. Must be the guns, which is very sad. We'll talk about that. Yesterday they said they had a suspect. Then they backed away from that, and they released whoever they had in custody. So we still don't know who's responsible for that. And, of course, the death of Rob Reiner, which I woke up to this morning. So sad. I didn't agree with Rob Reiner on anything politically, but I was willing to sit down and watch interviews the guy did with Bill Maher and Piers Morgan and a variety of other people, because even though I didn't agree with him on politics, he was a reasonable person when it came to explaining why he believed what he believed. And it's good to understand what the other side thinks about those things. Like, for example, Kim, Reiner was one of the first in Hollywood to come out and support Erica Kirk and talk about how tragic the shooting was of Charlie Kirk, and praise her for what she said at his, at the ceremony they had for him, the memorial.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was, and I think it was on the Piers Morgan show, I think is where he did it. I've got some of the sound for you this morning. But very sad. Of course, I know him as Meathead. A lot of people are more familiar with him from some of the movies, When Harry Met Sally and Spinal Tap and all that he directed over the years. And that was just very sad. Apparently, his son stabbed him to death.
So it was Rob and his wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And People magazine is reporting, the LAPD is playing this very close to the vest and not saying anything. The Reiner family has already come out and acknowledged that it was Rob Reiner and his wife. LAPD won't even say they have a suspect in custody. They'll only say that they don't think there's any danger to the larger community. People magazine said that his drug-addicted son is the one that did this, which is very sad. I don't know. I was unfamiliar with his son. I don't know if he's an actor, if he's in Hollywood at all. But apparently, according to People, had a substance abuse problem that might have contributed to this situation, which is just horribly sad. What a horrible way. Reiner was Jewish, and what a horrible way to start off Hanukkah for our Jewish friends, and having to struggle with what's happened over in Australia, where people were celebrating the first night of Hanukkah when this attack took place. We're going to talk to Rabbi Chaim Landa a little later. He's with the Jewish Center here in the greater St. Louis. We're going to chat with him at about 8:20 this morning with some reaction to all of this. And hopefully, I don't know how he reacts to this. I mean, just the combination of these attacks, the fact that these people that did this apparently were from Sydney, these terrorists, and drove some extended distance in order to commit these acts of violence. And, I mean, it's just, I don't know how you reconcile that in your brain. I just don't. I don't know how you do that, but we're going to get to all that. A little behind-the-scenes stuff here. Ethan, I'm having some trouble with my computer over here. So on the short list, I'm going to let you pick the last soundbite. How about that? Let's get to it.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
Likewise in Australia, as you know, that was a terrible attack. 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
Yeah, the president speaking out last night upon hearing about the Bondi Beach attacks over in Australia.
I was here with my family. It was a Hanukkah celebration. There were hundreds of people. There were children. There were elderly families enjoying themselves. Children, kids at a festival playing. And then all of a sudden it's absolute chaos. There's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking. It was absolute chaos.
How about that? And, remember Australia famously is the country where they rounded up all the guns a number of years ago, put them in a pile and ran over them with tanks and destroyed all of them, and they banned them because they weren't going to have any more of this. And lo and behold, a couple of maniacs got guns anyway and did it. It could have been a truck bomb. The point is, criminals don't care about laws.
We're going to see people that are regretting that they voted for Trump, and those people are absolutely welcome in our campaign.
Oh, keep it up. Jasmine Crockett out there. Now she's trying to round up the Trump supporters to help her out, I guess, to win her race down in the great state of Texas.
President Trump and I have a really strong relationship, and that I promised him that I'll do whatever he wants. And so if he asks me to do it, I'll do it. If he asks me to stay here, I'll be really happy to do that too. If I do go over there, I think I'll be really glad to help make that team go back to where it was.
Yeah, that was Kevin Hassett talking about rumors that he might be the president's choice to run the Federal Reserve when they finally get that loser out of there at some point. I don't know. That can't happen fast enough. I don't think his term's up till spring, maybe. But Hassett would be a great choice. We probably need Besson to stay where he is. He's pretty much said he's not real interested in that position. But having somebody with a little bit of sanity running the fiscal policy of the Fed would certainly be a good thing for sure. All right, we will. We're going to get more to the Rob Reiner story here coming up in just a couple of minutes, and more on what's happened over reaction to what's happened over in Australia. Just a tragic night, horrible for the start of Hanukkah for our Jewish friends, and we're going to get to all that and more. We'll get to a quick break here and get to our national anthem, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. All right. Well, hey, it's made it up to 11 degrees. It was 10 when I woke up. So here's the good news. It's pretty quiet out there, but we have had a stall here and there and maybe some signal issues. But there is an accident on the ramp from northbound 170 to Page. It's on the right side. For a while they had the ramp shut down, but it looks to me like it's open. I've been looking at the cameras and seeing traffic go by there now. But if you are taking that exit ramp, it's on the right-hand side with its flashers on. It may just be a stall. But other than that, we are looking good, and it's quiet at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, I was toasty warm and have been all weekend long, and hopefully you have too. But we know what happens. We know that occasionally the furnace is having a little trouble keeping up, or it won't light, or something irritating like that. And when that happens, you know I'm going to recommend Air Comfort Service. Heating, cooling, and insulation, they're going to be on the job. They offer 24-hour emergency service if you need it. And in 12 degrees, you probably would need it pretty quickly, right? You need somebody to get out there and get it figured out. 314-513-0091. Easy number to remember. Put it in your phone. So if anything happens with the furnace, you can get that taken care of. If you considered something new, they do have a lot of rebates going on. You can get tax credits. You can get carrier cool cash rebates. You can get utility rebates. And all of this can come right off the bottom line or go back in your pocket in a lot of cases. So be sure and ask them about that. We got to take advantage of that last year because I had a system put in with a heat pump. And there were federal tax credits available, and it was fantastic, and I love it. But just so you know, Air Comfort Service can handle all of that, plus they can handle those emergency service calls. 314-513-0091. Stay in your comfort zone. Go to aircomfortservice.com.
Make your holidays brighter with the Ruler Foods app. Get exclusive savings, browse the weekly ads, and even order delivery all right from your phone on the Ruler Foods app. Plus, unwrap over $75 in digital coupons every week when you shop with the app. It's the easiest way to save big and keep your season stress-free. Don't wait. Download the Ruler Foods app today and make this holiday merry and affordable. Celebrate the season with low prices on everything you need. Hurry into Ruler Foods today where you'll save more and stress less this holiday. RulerFoods.com.
God, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Missouri Grit. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. It's not often I'm going to redirect the show or do something like that just to counter some of the trolls online. But in this case, it just happened to perfectly coincide because I'm talking about Rob Reiner. And I'm talking about the fact that even though he was Jewish, he praised Erica Kirk for her faith and her strength in the wake of her husband's death. And somebody popped online, it might have been Scoot, telling me Rob Reiner was an atheist. Nothing you tell me about Rob Reiner would surprise me when it came to that because he was pretty crazy on some of his politics. But according to Rob Reiner, he's Jewish. He's self-described as Jewish. Here is what he said to Piers Morgan after Charlie Kirk got murdered and he had watched the memorial service with Erica Kirk. Piers asked him for his reaction to what happened. Listen.
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service, that the memorial they had, was exactly right. And totally, I believe, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others, and I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful and absolutely, when she forgave his assassin. And I think that is admirable.
Yeah. How about that? Rob Reiner, Jew. He admitted it. He's Jewish, but he followed the teachings of Jesus.
So why can't we just have more people like that, where you can look at a situation like the horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk, and regardless of your views politically, you can acknowledge that that was awful and never should have happened.
Well, what happened? Like Reiner, you won't find conservatives dancing on Rob Reiner's grave this morning. He was a never Trumper. He had a horrible case of TDS. The last thing I would wish on anybody is that they get stabbed to death. I mean, it's horrific. What happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific. There had to be a lot of people out there that really didn't like Charlie Kirk because of his opinions and his faith. But you saw people on the left celebrating that death. You're not going to see that in this case. I mean, as I mentioned, I would stop and watch interviews with Reiner. I not because I liked what he had to say, but because he could at least reason out his side of whatever argument he was making.
I'm always surprised when someone passes away like Rob, where I'm starting to look at the different movies he directed, and I didn't realize how much impact he had. I knew his name, I just didn't know much about him, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of them. Princess Bride, apparently.
Yeah, I know, that's a classic.
I didn't realize he directed that.
Mm-mm.
And I was reading an interview with Sally Struthers. Apparently, she played his wife on All in the Family, and she described her relationship with him as kind of strained after the show. And if you know Sally Struthers, she's a lot like the character she played on All in the Family. She's just real kind of bubbly and wears her emotions on her sleeve. And apparently, Reiner's first wife, Penny Marshall, did not appreciate that and felt during the show that she was flirting with Reiner and was not a big fan, apparently, according to Struthers. And she said it affected the remainder of their relationship. They finally did some award ceremony together a couple years ago, and she said that's the first time she had seen her talk to him in many, many years.
That would be hard. I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
As a spouse, having your husband or your wife play a role like that.
To me, his defining role was on All in the Family, which I grew up watching in the 70s. And, it was a massive hit on television I think it was only on 5 years, maybe 6. They carried it on with some extra show with Archie after his wife Edith had died. But he coined the phrase for Rob Reiner's character, "You're a meathead." Did you ever watch it at all, Kim?
No, I know of it, All in the Family, but I don't know if I ever watched it.
He played the I guess you would call him the very conservative, uber conservative, but in many ways racist guy that lived in the suburbs. He didn't want black people living next to him. And his son-in-law that his daughter brings home is a anti-war left-winger. And then just watching them get into it through the whole show was just some of the most classic lines in TV and really spoke to many generations that were probably going through that themselves at the time, with parents that were, supporting the troops and kids that were against the war. And it was immensely popular for that reason. Here was a clip from it. Listen.
So it's their fault that you call them those names? It ain't my fault, meathead. What are you two doing here? Don't tell me it's real work or I'll have a heart attack.
Consider your life spared then, Daddy. We're not getting paid for this.
That's right. This happens to be something we believe in. You know, man does not live by bread alone. And you sure don't. Not unless the bread's wrapped around ham, bologna, liverwurst, or salami. No wonder you're a meathead.
It just brings back such good memories of that show. And if you're just waking up this morning, Rob Reiner, the actor, 78, his wife, 68. He was remarried after he divorced Penny Marshall many years ago. Were found stabbed to death in their home in Hollywood. And they believe that his son, one of his sons who had a drug problem, is responsible. The police have not named him yet. People magazine is reporting that it was one of his sons who might have been responsible for this. So that's the latest on that. We'll keep you updated if anything new comes out on it this morning. All right, we'll be back with Kim on a Whim. Stay tuned.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
1 minute stations, 1 minute to your next Fox News 3030.
All right, let's talk to you for just a minute about the Range St. Louis West. I've been going there for years, over there, 1403 Manchester Road in Baldwin. I will tell you, today is would be the 15th day of the month. So we have 10 days until Christmas, if that's what you're shopping for. If you're looking for any stocking stuffers or whatever, they're having their 12 days of Christmas right now. Big specials every day leading up to the day before Christmas, and then I think all of the specials will be wrapped into that. So you need to go out there, look for accessories, classes that maybe your loved one might enjoy as a stocking stuffer.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
They will take care of all that for you at the Range. I promise you that. You're going to love it. And it's warm, by the way, because they have a big indoor range downstairs, and it's just great. One of my favorite places. Couldn't do the Responder Rescue Raffle each year without them. You could shop online right now at therangestl.com.
Asset Management says some of the concern may be justified.
As far as Oracle, I think investors are saying, look, this is too big of a bite. You went from zero debt to all this debt, and you're making a big gambit. Is this going to work? And I think investors are right to kind of question this.
There's a flood of delayed economic news coming out this week. The delayed November jobs report comes out on Tuesday. This week, earnings are released from home builder Lennar, chip maker Micron Technology, and used car retailer CarMax. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosolda. Invested in you.
2025 is wrapping up, and here's the truth. Uncertainty isn't going anywhere. Noble Gold Investments help you protect what you've built with real gold and silver, stuff that holds value when everything else is melting down. This holiday season, the best gift you can give your family? Peace of mind. Don't wait for the next crash to blindside you. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com and get started today. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Don't leave the future to chance. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your tax attorney.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Howard. Now, there is a stall. It's on the ramp from northbound 170 to Page, and it's on the right-hand side. It's mostly on the shoulder now, really not causing a delay. And other than that, it's quiet, at least on the interstates. And we look good on both the Missouri and Illinois sides right now. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Grasser Electric is out there working hard. I'm sure they had some emergency calls probably because, you get power overloads and all that stuff in this kind of weather, and Grasser's going to be there for you. Here's the great thing they can do. They can put one of those whole house generators in for you, which means the power goes out, 30 seconds later, Your generator kicks on. It's powered by natural gas. It's out in the backyard somewhere, and it will heat your home. It will cool your home. It'll keep the refrigerator going, the deep freeze, and all that meat you got in there. It's just one less thing you have to worry about, particularly if you live in one of those areas where you know that occasionally the power goes down. Maybe you live out on some property somewhere, or you live in one of the older neighborhoods where the power lines have not been buried. This is what you want. You want to have that peace of mind that you've got it going on. So call Grasser, and they can help you with that. They'll give you an estimate today, 636-441-5200. That's 636-441-5200. Tell them Marc Cox told you to call. Go to GrasserElectric.com.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Real talk, today's issues. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a whim.
I wonder what a city would look like if when a landlord is ready to sell their building, instead of it going on the private market, they'd have to offer it to nonprofits and community land trusts first. And then those nonprofits and community land trusts would be forced to make this affordable housing. I don't have to wonder that, because New York City Council is actually considering a bill that would enable just that. And as you can probably guess, landlords are fighting like hell to stop it.
Oh my
Who is that?
gosh.
Is that Joy Reid?
It kind of sounds like Joy Reid. Some woman who has a very popular Instagram account who talks about all sorts of real estate dealings and things going on with different cities. This one happening in New York City. And while it might sound crazy to you and me, it's picking up speed, gaining momentum, because Zohran Mamdani was just elected as the mayor of New York City, and I would venture to guess that he would
They're
support
going
this.
to seize public property. Like you would have no choice but to offer it to the city first.
Yes, nonprofits. This is called the
before putting it on the open market.
Correct. And listen to the time frame I'm about to tell you. This, by the way, is called the Community Opportunity for Purchase Act, or COPA. So people have been holding signs in support of this, talking about COPA, C-O-P-A. But here's how this is going to work. So like you said, they have to offer it to these nonprofits first, which is just insane. But there's also a specific time frame that they have to give these nonprofits to see if they're interested. So what we're going to have to do is, if a residential building owner wants to sell, they'll have to notify the New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development. There's going to be some sort of a list of qualified nonprofits, though that's not yet been determined. So it's not just any nonprofit, but nonprofits are going to be offered that property first before it can go on the open market. Nonprofits that are interested have 60 days to notify the owner that they would like to purchase it, and then another 120 days to make a competitive offer. If the nonprofit's not interested in that property, or the offer's rejected, at that point, the owner could then sell the building on the open market.
So I'm sure there are then restrictions on the excuse the owner can use to refuse it.
Oh, I'm sure. Building owners who violate this law, assuming it becomes a law, would face a civil fine of up to $30,000.
Oh, my God.
And this, by the way, is already happening. It says that there are similar programs already in place in areas like Washington, D.C. and San Francisco. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibilities for something like this to actually
It's got to be
happen.
illegal.
You would think. So this bill was actually introduced in 2024, but again, as I mentioned, because Mamdani was just elected mayor, it's been picking up more steam. It says as of Friday, 32 of the 51 council members there in New York City had signed on as sponsors, which is more than the 26 votes that are needed to pass it, and just shy of the 34 votes that would be needed to override a mayoral veto. So this is looking very, very likely.
So he doesn't get sworn in until
pass.
January. They would probably wait until then to vote on it, right?
I would think, because, I mean, based on everything Mamdani has said he supports, it seems like this would be right up his alley. I mean, does he realize, does the council member realize Sandy Nurse is the Brooklyn councilwoman who introduced this back in 2024? Do they realize how big of an impact this is going to have on anyone any sort of investor who wants to buy in New York City?
Who would
in their right
ever
mind
buy a property there again?
Exactly. This is going to be detrimental to the economy there, and they don't even realize it. And it's so sad for people who live there, who have called New York City home for decades. They don't want to pick up and leave, and now they're being forced into this, what's being described as a communist dystopia. Totally agree.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what happens when you elect these people. This
That
seems
is
so
that is
insane to me.
shocking to my sensibilities that in America, a local elected city council would pass a law telling you who you can and cannot sell your property to. That's anti-American. It's un-American.
I know.
How can they do that?
There's
It's
so
my
many
property. I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder. Whoever I want to sell it to is who I'm going to sell it to. And this is completely unrelated to that, but I can remember when there were discussions in a neighborhood I lived in once about trying to pass something in the HOA rules that would prevent owners from selling to a company that would then rent the property. No. I'm sorry. Don't try to tell me who I can sell my house to.
Mm-hmm.
If it's time for me to sell my house, and that's who gives me the highest bid, I have the right to sell my property to whoever I want to.
And not only are they telling them who they can sell their property to, they're also giving them a specific timeline. And if you've had property before and you're trying to offload it, you know that every month that sits on the market, you're paying for it. The
Right.
mortgage, you're likely paying for the utilities because you got to
It
have those
would
going
kill
on.
the commercial real estate market.
Oh my
in New York.
goodness, that
Kill
would
it.
be so expensive. And it's so funny because that woman I played the clip from, she was sitting here trying to defend it, saying, well, there's an affordable housing crisis, and she's trying to say that these nonprofits, it's not just any nonprofit, it's a nonprofit that would be qualified, and they would have to turn it into affordable housing, so this would help that crisis.
Can you imagine? I mean, I would love to know this in real time. I wonder how many buildings have been listed since news broke that this might happen. Because if your building's already on the market, they couldn't retroactively apply this to you. It would have to be after a certain date, right? Like after the mayor signed it. So if you're thinking of selling a building in New York City, you would be out there putting the sign on the front of the building today.
I would think so. I would know any sort of plans I had as an investor to invest in New York City, I would be completely rerouting.
This is insane.
This is insane. And it could be coming to a city near you. Because if New York City adopts this, certainly other cities will look to that as, they did it. Maybe that's the solution here.
Was there anything in there about price fixing, though? Like, did they say you have to sell the property for a certain amount?
It's not for a certain amount.
My thinking is, why wouldn't you just list the price for the nonprofits as, I'm going to sell this for $1 billion, and then the nonprofits are obviously going to pass on it.
Yeah, I would think.
And then go back and be like, all right, well, I decided
We
to sell it
dropped
for
it.
$100,000.
I'll bet there's language in there.
Yeah, I'm
that you
wondering.
can't-
I'm like, there's got to be a way
that
around
you
this. I
can't
think.
price it above market value or whatever that is, just to scare
insane.
off the nonprofit.
I would think so.
I shouldn't be surprised. I wondered how they were going to go about it. It might be a little more difficult given what's happened with these NGOs and shutting off the fraudulent supply of money to all these Democrat-supported nonprofits.
They'll find a way.
That could be it.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Oh, that's probably
I think
true.
that's the best way to describe it. They're going to find some other way to commit fraud, and
I just have to wonder, because none of these because they're by their nature a nonprofit, they know nothing about running a business. They don't have to worry about bottom lines and all that stuff. They don't have to. How in the world are they suddenly going to get in the property management business and do it effectively? It's the reason the grocery stores that are state-run don't have anything on the shelves.
I remember that. That was crazy,
That's
too.
store in Kansas City, right?
Yes, Kansas City,
Yeah.
but wasn't there another city that had that same thing? That
That
Kansas
seems
City
a lot.
had modeled
It would
theirs
be called
after.
the Soviet Union.
Also-
Every
yeah, also
grocery
that.
store in the Soviet Union had bread and vodka, and good luck finding anything else.
Mhm.
I mean, it was pathetic because you can't run a business that way. You just can't.
My husband and I were selling a home not too long ago, and we were trying to. We ended up renting it out, but there was a company that was wanting to buy it from us, and they helped people with affordable housing, and we didn't end up selling it to them because it turned out the guy was an illegal, and he had been detained and was going to get deported. That's a separate story. I think I've told that on the radio. But anyway, point being, the only reason we agreed to give it to that organization was because they had the highest bid. It's not like I would have been so mad if you sat here and told me that not only are you going to dictate who I can sell it to, but you're going to tell me I have to allow 60 days in order for them to notify the intent to purchase, and then another 120 days to make an offer. The holding cost for that would be astronomical.
Yeah.
So good luck if you live in New York City or you plan to invest in there. I'm sure there are some people listening in St. Louis who have investment properties there because it used to be probably very lucrative. But it's not going to be that way anymore, likely.
It's a massive city, and I can't imagine what percentage of people would currently be affected by it. But when does the city go bankrupt if that happens? Because eventually these nonprofits will need city money in order to operate something like this.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have to.
Someone just sent in on the text line. By the way, that is available, 314-241-9797. I think responding to your question, Ethan, about could the seller set the price so high that it would price out any nonprofit and then just, actually, I'm dropping it. They said, that there'd be felony charges for setting the values incorrectly.
Probably.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They would try to put somebody in jail to punish them for that, which is, I don't know. Shocking, but not shocking when you have a group of people that are dumb enough to elect a socialist as mayor. So that you get what you get, right? You get what you voted for. All right, quick break here. I saw a story yesterday that I couldn't believe, but again, in the current environment, not shocking. And that was a bunch of people registered as voters who should never have been allowed to register as voters. We're going to get to that story for you when we come back. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, we look okay on the roads this morning. Eastbound 70 is in good shape. 6440 is as well. The worst thing we've had was a stall on the ramp from northbound 170 to Page. Let's see. There was a car fire reported. Bowling Green Drive at Green Pastures, reportedly in the Florissant area. But for the most part, we look good. And if you are headed out, it's quiet on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, time to get ready for the new year. It's going to be upon us before you know it, and obviously it's already a sweater weather, and maybe you're thinking about trying to lose some weight, and if that's the case, I want you to check out Victory Men's Health because, gentlemen, they're there for you. It is Victory Men's Health. You got a bunch of doctors who've spent their entire careers specializing in men's health, which means they know what should be going on in your body, what shouldn't, where your levels should be based on your age, and then they take care of the rest. They can help you with weight loss. They can help you with your sexual health problems. They can improve the way you feel on a daily basis through hormone optimization or vitamin deficiencies. Now they've paired up with a cardiologist. They're doing cardiovascular testing. These are things that you need to be aware of going on with your body as opposed to that maybe once a year physical you get from your general practitioner. Just reach out to them. You're going to love it. They take a blood test and then they call you back in and discuss that blood panel with you and provide a course of action. It's fantastic. They have 4 great locations: Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Illinois, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Town & Country. Online today at victorymenshealth.com.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Hey guys, Ethan Hannaford, producer for The Annie Fry Show and The Mark Reardon Show here. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas season and happy holidays to you all. Thank you so much for listening on 97.1 FM Talk.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Wishing you a wonderful holiday season filled with joy and laughter. May your new year bring happiness and success. Cherish every moment with family and friends. From your friends at Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis's injury lawyers.
Tired of mice? Point Pest Control finds their entry points, eliminates the infestation, and seals them out for good with our exclusion services. Mention Annie to get 10% off on top of any other special. Call 636-798-0023. Visit Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, so I tell you, when it comes to election integrity, every time you think you've made a couple of steps forward, it seems to be a couple of steps backwards. You know, we're doing our best here in some of the states like Missouri, but others you've still got opposition, these blue states, to common sense. And common sense is what? Voter ID, in my opinion. You should be forced to prove who you are when you vote. And in a lot of these blue states, as we mentioned, let's see, California, New York, probably Illinois, wherever they've come up with schemes to get people registered to vote who otherwise might not have registered or who aren't legally capable of voting. And what I'm talking about here are these motor voter laws where you go in and when you apply for a driver's license, even if you happen to be an illegal alien, you're automatically registered to vote, which opens up the door to fraud. Because if you didn't check the box that I'm not a legal resident, you just skip that box, you can think of how many times this has probably happened where you could just go vote and nobody asks twice about it. And when you try to get the voter rolls in those states checked, they scream bloody murder because that's not what they want. Just understand that that's not the ultimate goal. It pulls back the veil on what the whole open border strategy has been in the United States. I mean, like all along, it just pulls back the veil on it because you know exactly what they're after. Well, let's go over to Arizona. The discussion about the Electoral College does not get discussed enough, the issue of the Electoral College in this country. I fully support the Electoral College, by the way. Don't get me wrong. The Democrats realized a long time ago that the more congressional seats you have, the more electoral votes your state gets. And they started gerrymandering, and then they realized that wasn't going to be enough. So what they needed to do was pack those blue areas with illegal aliens and then count those illegal aliens in the census, which thereby expanded the number of people in their state and allowed them to gain additional electoral votes from people, but because of people who are non-citizens. It's the craziest scheme ever, but guess what? It's been working for them. been working in Arizona. You know one way they do it in Arizona? They don't check whether or not you are a citizen. Like documentary proof. And they're now trying to claim, now that they've been caught red-handed, that it was a mistake. Anybody raise your hand if you think any of this is not intentional. I mean, seriously.
I mean, how many people, though, for this last election were writing in on our social media saying they were never asked to show an ID?
Well, an ID or proof of citizenship.
Well, anything. I mean, even now when you go fill out a form, when it asks for your gender, you can say, male, female, or prefer not to say. I feel like nowadays we're going to have something like, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, no, prefer not to say.
Remember,
I don't really feel like telling you, and I shouldn't have to.
With every Secretary of State I've ever been able to get on this radio show, I've proposed a pretty simple rule, right? If we have to use E-Verify in this country, when you hire someone, like you're supposed to go through the E-Verify system to verify that they're not here illegally. Now, not every employer does it, and they should be fined when they don't. But you're supposed to do that. How hard would it be to do that when you register to vote? Everybody that registers to vote should be run through the E-Verify system and find out whether or not they're here legally. It seems like a simple solution to the problem, but it's not one Democrats want to get close to with a 10-foot pole because it would expose the fraud that they've carried out in this country. Now, let me get to the story here. Listen to what they've uncovered in the state of Arizona. It's massive, and I wonder if you go back and look at the difference in vote totals in a couple of recent elections, what kind of difference it might have made.
Now, this new data set, as they're calling it, brings the total number of people impacted to 218,000 instead of the 98,000 we first reported. These people were mistakenly marked as having provided documentary proof of citizenship, and Arizona Voter Registration Database now has correctly flagged the impacted individuals. Election officials say they will contact the affected Arizonans with information regarding their status after the general election. That means for now, the Arizona Supreme Court's ruling is going to stay that impacted voters, that includes all of them, will still be able to vote. Now, this new data set...
Wow.
Is that not insane?
That is insane.
So we know there's a problem. 218,000 people who we don't have documentation on as to whether they're here legally. But even though we've discovered the problem, we're still going to let them all vote in the next election cycle. Why wouldn't you shut them down today until they come into you with a birth certificate or a documentation proving you're a citizen of the United States? Today. You have between now and November to come in and prove to us who you are. If not, we're just going to let it ride. I guess we'll just let it ride. Like, what difference does it make? That's the attitude they have.
Only 200 and what was it, 18,000?
Only 218,000. That wouldn't sway any votes.
Drop in the bucket.
I mean, come on, just a drop in the bucket. There's probably 8 million people in that state. That's just a drop in the bucket.
I mean, it's very clear why the left really likes for these people to be able to vote.
Unbelievable. Next hour, we'll talk to Hans von Spakovsky coming up here in just a few minutes. We've got our friend Nicole Murray. A little later, we're going to get to our friend Dan Buck. He's going to join us at 7:35 with the Buck Stops here every Monday morning here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. Back in just a minute.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
I'm Attorney General Catherine Hanaway with an important message about holiday scams. During the holidays, we see an uptick in phony package delivery notices, fake charities, travel booking scams, and urgent gift card scams. If you've been the victim of a fraud, please call my office to help at 800-392-2727. 8222 or visit ago.mo.gov.
Sponsored by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Is a Fox News alert. A famous movie director being mourned in Hollywood. I'm Dave Anthony. Rob Reiner first gained fame as an actor on TV.
Gloria, if I thought for 1 second that boy was my son...
He won Emmys for his role as Meathead on All in the Family. Then Reiner became an acclaimed director of movies, including Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, and When Harry Met Sally. Rob Reiner was 78. He and his wife, Michelle, were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home.
There are multiple reports that police are talking to a family member of the Reiners.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in L.A. says one of their children is reportedly a person of interest.
32-year-old Nick Reiner, his son, who has been open in the past about his struggles with drug addiction and mental health issues.
A mass shooter remains on the loose around Providence, Rhode Island.
A stunning turn of events here at Brown University when authorities last night at about 11:30 at night held that press conference and told the world that they had the wrong guy and are now looking for a person of interest, the gunman responsible for killing 2 students and wounding 9 other students at the engineering and physics building.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis. Even more people were gunned down on a beach in Australia.
I saw children falling to the floor, so elderly I saw, invalids I saw, people just, it was an absolute bloodbath, blood gushing everywhere.
He watched as 2 gunmen murdered 15 and wounded at least 38 more.
A father 50 years old and a son 24 targeted a park at Sydney's famous Bondi Beach, where there was an event with hundreds of people gathered to celebrate the first day of Hanukkah. Officials describe it as a terrible act of anti-Semitism. In fact, an act of terrorism against the Jewish community.
Fox's Greg Palcott. The father was killed by police, the son disarmed by a bystander and injured. President Trump vows retaliation in Syria after ISIS attack over the weekend killed 2 Americans. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Welcome into Monday, December 15th. Starting out the day, 13 degrees right now. Our time is 6:03. 5 people were injured after a Metro bus crashed with a car and then ran into a building in North St. Louis. This happened last night around 8:15 at the intersection of Goodfellow and Page. Police say the 5 people who were hurt have non-life-threatening injuries. At least 2 popular St. Louis area holiday events closed over the weekend because of the single-digit temps. The Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park and Garden Glow at the Botanical Gardens both canceled events on Sunday. Now here's what you need to know. The Botanical Gardens said if you had tickets for Sunday, you can use them any night through January 3rd. A permanent security force on horseback is coming to downtown St. Louis. Starting next year, the CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management tells Channel 5 about 20 policemen will be patrolling the area daily, so not just for big events. St. Louis police already have a mounted police unit, but that's for Forest Park, so this is going to expand it to the downtown area. In sports, Blues beat the Blackhawks over the weekend. They'll be at home tonight playing the Predators. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. And Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13. Patrick Mahomes, though, out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL. 6:04 is our time, sitting at 13 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, we've had a couple of stalls out there. I mean, it's 11 degrees, so it's not unusual. There was a stall southbound 270 just before Tefson Ferry, but they moved that off to the shoulder, and they cleared the stall northbound 170 on the ramp to Page. So we're left in pretty good shape here, at least on the interstates. Light volume at this hour. On eastbound 70, 64, 44 from out west into downtown. Quiet on the Illinois side, too. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Sunshine in control on this Monday. It's going to get warmer, but it's a cold start this morning. A little breezy this afternoon. Also 42 for the high. Tonight, clear skies 28. Tuesday, sunny, warming up to 52 on Tuesday, and Wednesday, mostly sunny and 58. This should be the last big Arctic surge that we had over the weekend for quite a while. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Yeah, not 58 right now, 13 degrees. 6:06 is our time. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere by downloading the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, glad you're with us on the 15th day of December. Just happy Hanukkah, first of all, to those of you. I guess Hanukkah started yesterday, and just 10 days till Christmas. So your shopping time is ticking away on you here as we get near the dead center of the month of December. How about that? Anyway, we've got a good show for you today. It is, I know, cold outside this morning. You're going to want to heat that car up before you put your butt in the seat. It is cold outside, and we're about to get over that, as Kim mentioned, and Dave Murray. I think it's going to warm up a little bit. So lots of big stories we're following this morning. Kim, I heard about the shooting yesterday, the Brown University and the Bondi Beach shooting. The Rob Reiner thing didn't hit me this morning till I got up. I didn't find out about it till I woke up this morning. So they sometime overnight they realized that Rob Reiner and his wife got stabbed to death in their home in L.A., and that was a pretty major shock. I think everybody's reacting to that this morning.
Oh yeah, a lot of the actors and actresses out of Hollywood have already been reacting. And I mean, you were talking earlier, Mark, how many movies he directed, movies I didn't even realize he directed. I knew I had seen him before because I didn't watch All in the Family, but I did watch New Girl, and he played, was it Zooey Deschanel's dad in that series? Yeah.
And didn't stop acting. I think I heard that, I've forgotten about this, that he played Leonardo DiCaprio's father in Wolf of Wall Street. So he continued through the years to be on screen a little bit, but for the most part was just a pretty prolific director over the years. Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, a bunch of shows like that. And we don't know all the details. People Magazine is reporting apparently their child, one of their sons, stabbed them to death in their home in Hollywood this morning. So gathering more information on that. The police have not said that. The media is reporting that this morning, that's kind of how that went down. Very sad situation. We're also talking about, of course, the shootings, one at Brown University. They still don't have a suspect in that case, which seems very odd to me. They thought they had somebody in custody. Like, remember the Charlie Kirk case? They thought they had somebody in custody. It wasn't the right guy. So they're still looking. They've got good surveillance video of this guy shooting at Brown University and then leaving the scene. But apparently the initial reports of who was involved is incorrect.
Yeah, that's very odd, the fact that they have the video. And I thought I even saw a picture of his face. But yeah, no one in custody. And I know we're watching now the video of the guy who took down that shooter at Bondi Beach.
Why didn't he shoot him?
I don't think he had a gun on him.
He did.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't have a gun on him initially.
He took the gun away from the guy, and he didn't shoot him.
That was my first thought. I'm
thank
like,
you.
Why? Because he's got a bag. You have no idea what's coming out of that.
Maybe it's possible. We're talking about the Australian shooting now. There's a video of a civilian running up behind one of the shooters, tackling him and disarming him, and then pointing the gun at him and not shooting him. I don't get that at all. Maybe he didn't know how to operate the gun. Maybe the guy had clicked the safety on. He didn't know how to turn it off. I don't know. All I know is that there a tremendous number of people injured or killed in Bondi Beach in Australia, one of the most famous beaches over there. I mentioned at the top of the last hour, my son pointed out yesterday when he was in Australia back earlier this year, he visited that beach. In fact, there's a famous video camera that's live on that beach all the time. He called us while standing in front of that camera and texted us the address so we could click on it and look at him while he was talking to us. I guess he could have FaceTimed us, to be honest with you. But it was cooler that we could see him on that camera. But it was this Bondi Beach right here, and he and his friend had to use that walkway where they ended up killing the two shooters in order to go catch an Uber. They had to use that walkway when they left the beach.
Well, they killed the dad, but then the son is in the hospital.
Yeah, in critical condition. I don't know if he's hopefully. I don't know if he survives or not.
Well, there was a guy who survived October 7th, and then he survived, but he was shot and really bloody from this shooting. And people survivors of the Holocaust and kids as young as 10 years old.
It was a Hanukkah, celebrating the first night of Hanukkah, and they. We're reporting earlier that, of course, these people were Islamic terrorists, radicalized. Somehow a father and son who showed up there apparently drove some distance to show up there and attack these people at a fairly well-known celebration there on the beach. It's sick. Immediately they promised tighter gun laws in Australia. That was the reaction of the politicians in Australia to what happened. So then yesterday there was the shooting at Brown University. We still have zero idea of what the motive was or who the person was because they haven't arrested anybody yet. Where do you think Pramaya Jayapal, a member of the squad, went as soon as she could get in front of a camera?
And the answer to the majority of Americans is clear. Make it less easy for guns to be in the hands of people who shouldn't have them.
That's immediately where she pivoted. She has no idea what the circumstances are here. And by all reports, the shooter at Brown was using a handgun. A handgun, not a scary black rifle, or she would have mentioned that. Was using a modern semi-automatic handgun to shoot up the university there. They know nothing about it, and the left is always the same. It's got to be the gun. It's never the individual. The individual in this case, I'm sure we'll find out, has a long list of mental problems or was somehow radicalized. But we don't know a motive or anything yet. So we're still looking into all those things this morning. Coming up next, we're going to talk to our friend Hans von Spakovsky. And then, of course, we'll get you a check of business at about 6:35 this morning. Eben Brown's going to call us a little later. He's also covering that Brown University shooting, so we'll get you an update in the 7 o'clock hour. The update from Australia, 38 hurt, 15 dead in that Sydney Hanukkah terror attack in Australia. What a shame. Let's get to our other top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
One of the things that they're examining, as far as potential motive here, obviously that's a big question. Right now we're told there's no indications of any sort of terrorism, but one avenue that they're definitely looking into is whether or not this particular individual had a specific axe to grind against that college, against that school.
Yep, again, there's the story Eben's going to be covering a little later. They still don't have a suspect. They had somebody, and they have now released that individual.
Likewise in Australia, as you know, that was a terrible attack. 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
Yeah, how horrible. The police chief over there in Australia was quoted as saying diversity is our strength in light of what had just happened in Australia. So in some cases, you cannot save these countries from themselves.
I was here with my family. It was a Hanukkah celebration. There were hundreds of people. There were children. There were elderly families enjoying themselves. Children, kids at a festival playing, and then all of a sudden it's absolute chaos. There's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking. It was absolute chaos.
Yep, one of the survivors there in the Australia attack talking to the media yesterday.
I mean, marching people in uniforms in our automatic weapons through our major cities, where they're mostly just stopping people for being black and brown, not because they're actually undocumented or have committed crimes.
Unbelievable. J.B. Pritzker, we wonder why our ICE officers are targeted. It's because of idiotic, ignorant statements like that from the governor in the state of Illinois. Seriously. That's the statement he made yesterday with a straight face, that we've got uniformed, armed. Well, if you're in a police department, you're uniformed and you're armed. Imagine that. Law enforcement that's uniformed and armed, marching through the streets. Did he say jackbooted thugs? I didn't hear that, but he insinuated it. Only grabbing people because of the color of their skin. So they're clearly racist. That's what they're doing. All of those it's a lie. It's a lie. And it inflames the idiots out there that buy it hook, line, and sinker. I'm surprised that I didn't see that bite on my friend's page, the radical, crazy leftist who just moved to Chicago and participates in every one of these protests that goes on. They buy this stuff hook, line, and sinker. In the same interview, J.B. Pritzker, presidential candidate for 2028, started talking about his plans for amnesty, just so you know. That's what's coming next. Where's the Gang of Eight when we don't need them? For sure. All right, quick break. We'll get to Hans von Spakovsky coming up here at about 6:20. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it's been pretty quiet, but we have had a couple of issues. There was an accident reported Progress Parkway at Dorset, which would be just a little bit east of 270. But the interstates still look great. We're quiet through North County. We look good on northbound 55 at this hour through multiple construction zones. Things are looking good on the Illinois side as well. Quiet over there. I'll let you know if something comes up. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. This report brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, the Overhead Door Company wants you. I'm pointing at you right now. Are you looking for work? Are you considering picking up a different job and changing careers? How about working for a company that in just a few short days, about 15 days, will mark 100 years in business? That's pretty cool. The Overhead Door Company, the original, started out in 1926, and right now they are hiring residential garage door technicians and installers. If you're handy, you don't need to know how to do it yet. They will pay you for training. They'll give you up to a $4,000 hiring bonus. Details apply on that. And the technicians drive a company vehicle that's loaded with all the equipment that you need. And, of course, they offer benefits and even a pension program. So reach out to them ASAP, and they will get right back with you. Tell them you heard me talking about it here on 97.1. In fact, if you need service in the meantime, you need to get that garage door fixed, they provide same-day service. 314-781-5200. That's the Overhead Door Company, the original. They will not leave you stranded. I promise you that. Call them at 314-781-5200 or go to overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Marc Cox is St. Louis Conservative.
Hans von Spakovsky, the former emperor of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Well, Hans, welcome in on a Monday morning, my friend. How are you?
Mark, I'm doing fine, although very, very cold in Washington, D.C., like in other parts of the country.
Does that slow down the money being spent in Washington, by the way? Does that freeze funds?
Unfortunately not. I wish it did.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So I guess the big thing we're expecting right now legally is a decision on these tariffs. Is that right? I mean, I saw where Politico had a big article this weekend. They've accused the Trump administration of racing to finalize tariff payments to hamstring any possible refunds.
Yeah, I guess they don't want, as you know, the administration is talking about refunds to the American people.
Yeah.
And gosh, Democrats and others certainly would not like the American people to get any refunds from the Trump administration. So, yeah, I'm sure they are doing that. Now, the Supreme Court basically is now in a pause. They had their last arguments of the year last week, very important cases, and they won't start up again until mid-January when they're going to have the transgender athlete cases up, oral arguments before them. So for the moment, they're out on Christmas break.
Yeah, I wondered about that. So if there is a tariff decision, it will not be until January sometime.
Look, they could surprise all of us, and yeah, I guess we could get it this week, the week before the Christmas holiday. But I guess I would be surprised. Maybe I will be, but I don't think we're going to get it before the end of the year. But like I said, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say the trans issue you were talking about, that decision that they're expected to discuss next year and make some ruling on, it just seems like they're never going to, it's one thing after the next. Like it's almost like for each individual area, they're going to have to debate that.
Well, they've got they've got at least 2 decisions up before them, but that decision is going to affect many different states because, as you know, about 24 states passed similar statutes to the West Virginia statute, for example, that's up before them. So, some states particularly may try to fight it if it goes the wrong way. But if it goes the correct way, then I think all those state statutes are going to survive.
Yeah, this decision then, because again we're waiting again probably till January for the president, the decision on the president's power to fire people on like the FTC and places like that. I guess would that go for the Fed chairman as well? I don't know. The
Fed chairman case seems to be in a different category because the Federal Reserve is weird. You know, it's this federally chartered corporation, whereas all the other commissioners he's fired at, like the Federal Trade Commission, the National Labor Relations Board, those are actual government agencies. And that's the case that was argued last week was Rebecca Slaughter, who he had fired from the Federal Trade Commission. If like I said, if I was a betting man and I was in Las Vegas, I would bet that Trump's going to win that case.
Oh, yeah, I would hope so. I hope you're right. Hans von Spakovsky, our guest. Hans, earlier I had a story out of Arizona with a news report down there that they've identified 218,000 voters on the rolls who did not prove their citizenship when they signed up. And first they said there were only 98,000. Now they've doubled that to 218,000. But while they will reach out to them and try to clear it up, they're not going to do it before the next election cycle. So in other words, if there is fraud going on, we don't care enough to change it before it impacts yet another election.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Why would, if you know it's a problem now?
Bizarre. Yeah. I mean, look, the election's not till November. Yeah, they've got primaries and things like that, but the general election is almost a year from now. And why they wouldn't do that, I think there's no justification for them not immediately starting to work on this.
I have asked several secretaries of state that I've spoken to here in Missouri over the years, if we have to use E-Verify for employers, why can't we use it when you register to vote? Can you think of a reason?
No. And in fact, that is a very, very good question. And, for folks who don't know, E-Verify is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. DHS has a special office set up just to handle those calls from employers and give them instant feedback. So why can't state election officials use it? I don't know. Another one of those questions that why does the government operate that way?
Yeah, it seems a little intentional. It certainly does. Kim was telling me a story this morning you may not have heard yet out of New York City, where the city council is about to vote on a plan that would force residential landlords that own buildings in New York City would have to offer them first to a nonprofit before they could sell them on the open market. And they think Mom Donnie will sign off on it.
And apparently it's already a thing in Washington, D.C. or something similar.
Have you heard of that?
I had not heard of that, but I can't say it surprises me since he wants to turn New York into Moscow on the Hudson.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I would think I don't know how in the world that could be legal, that you could tell somebody who they can sell their property to. I mean, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And, by the way, so many of these nonprofits, the people who actually work for them, particularly the senior officials, many of them have huge salaries that they shouldn't if they're really a nonprofit. And I have no doubt this will cause all kinds of scams to get set up. Scam and con nonprofits.
We'll wait and uncover those next year. Hans, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, great having you on this morning. Hans von Spakovsky with the Heritage Foundation this morning. Heritage.org to read more of Hans' thoughts on things. Coming up, we'll get a check of business with Nicole Murray, and then we'll get to other news. Stay tuned.
Hey, Stewie, I'm hearing mortgage rates have plummeted. The Fed's making moves. Is this the moment where folks can start saving some money?
Annie, I'm so excited, and you should be too. This is a great opportunity. Now, there's numerous ways to go ahead and save money. One is go from rate A to rate B, reduce it at no cost with the bagel loan, and save $100, $200, $300, $700 a month. Another way is to reduce the term. We took a customer, went from 29 years left on the loan to 20 years. Their payment went up $35 a month, and guess what? They saved $170,000 in interest.
Does that mean we should wait, or should we act right now?
Well, that's a good question. People ask me this all the time. The Federal Reserve is going to cut the rates. Maybe I should wait. No, the market goes ahead and adjusts for potential rate cuts in the future. So the rates are typically lower than when the Federal Reserve actually does something about it. So go ahead and refinance now. Later on, if rates go ahead and drop, we can always refinance you for free again with the bagel loan.
Contact my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226715.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. And preparing for retirement can sometimes be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Find out how to build your retirement on your terms.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
Join host Steve All for the All Financial Hour, Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Good morning, I'm Kim Sainange for 97.1 FM Talk. 6:30 our time right now, 13 degrees. Assisted suicide is now legal in Illinois. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed that bill Friday that allows doctors to give terminally ill adults medication to end their life. This applies to adults with a prognosis of 6 months or less to live, confirmed by 2 independent doctors. That law will now take effect September of 2026. Dozens gathered in Kena Plaza in downtown St. Louis Sunday for the annual menorah lighting ceremony to kick off Hanukkah. The ceremony, of course, had a special meaning this year following that awful, deadly attack in Australia targeting Jewish people. The Jewish community here in the St. Louis area says they'll continue holding Jewish events across the metro with added security. In sports, Blues at home tonight playing the Predators. 7 o'clock start time for that game. Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13. Mahomes out the rest of the season with an ACL tear. I'm Kim Sainange for 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got some stalls out there this morning. Not a surprise considering it's 11 degrees out there, but there is a stall eastbound 6440 past Maryville Center Drive. Looks like that one is on the shoulder. There was another one westbound 70 past Salisbury, but it looks like they got that one cleared. So just be aware, but really for the most part we look good. Northbound 55 starting to get the usual volume right around Bayless this morning, and it's causing a little bit of a delay through there. But other than that, we look good, and that's the Missouri and Illinois sides both. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
All right, I want you to reach out to my friends at Golden Oak Lending right now. Today's mortgage rate is 4.5% fixed. Think about that. Whatever your mortgage rate is now, you can refinance, grab some equity out of your house, pay off some bills, or if you're looking to buy a new house, get a hold of Golden Oak because they can absolutely steer you down the right path and let you get out from under whatever debt you've owed to your credit card company or whatever, or they can help get you in that new home you want at 4.5%. Now, that is a 15-year fixed mortgage, an FHA loan with an APR 5.442, 20% equity, and, of course, qualified credit. But reach out to them and see if you qualify. Why would you not want to do this? It just makes good sense. They can get your loan closed in as little as 8 days, and you skip 2 months house payment when you refinance. So that is more cash in your pocket around the holidays. You can't beat that. Here's the phone number, 314-567-GOLD. Call them today. Tell them Marc Cox sent you, 314-567-GOLD. Their NMLS number is 114937.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud and you never let me know. So I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Your voice, your values. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us here. I just want to give a shout out to my friends on the Annie Fry Show because they did some good work on Friday, and I went out there to Ruler Foods in St. Charles and kind of stopped by to see them, and they did a fantastic job. I think they raised just shy of $10,000, something like that. Of course, they were doing it for the food bank, St. Louis Area Food Bank. Those folks were out there, and they did a fantastic job. It's gotten bigger every year since they started in 2022, and people were welcomed. A lot of my listeners showed up. A lot of Annie's listeners showed up just to drop off food or cash donations, and they were taking donations online. So then they took the cash that they collected, and they did a shopping spree through Ruler Foods. They let Wiggins run his cart through there and fill it up with stuff, raking stuff off shelves into the carts. They gave him like 5 minutes or something to do this anyway. All the money goes to food to support the St. Louis Area Food Bank. And wow, congratulations to them. That is fantastic. Close to $10,000 that they gathered by the end of her show on Friday afternoon. Those are online donations and in-person donations. A lot of great people showed up out there.
Which is also cool because you hear so many people saying how awful the economy is right now, and clearly people are still wanting to be very generous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, congratulations to them. Job well done. Glad I was able to get out there and say hello to a bunch of people and help them out in whatever way we could on Friday. All right, let's get to Nicole Murray, please. All right, great Monday morning to you, Nicole Murray. Is it nice and toasty and warm up there in New Jersey?
No, I'm cold. I have some choice words that I'm not allowed to say over the air, but I'm cold.
You're freezing.
Freezing. Still wearing my winter jacket in studio.
Apparently, this is all going to get a little better here between now and at least the new year. They said this polar vortex is lifting, and we're going to be back in the 40s and 50s, which will be like a heat wave.
Sure. Why not?
It'll be like short sleeve weather. Come on.
If it's not warm enough for me to be poolside with a mojito, it's not warm enough. So
I think you need to look for a job in Florida.
Ooh.
I could never live in Florida. It's too swampy.
It's too slow.
It's
too slow.
Swampy.
It's so hot and humid. The humidity is really bad. I mean, people are willing to live in Arizona because at least it's a dry heat. Even though it gets to, 115 degrees, it's not, you don't walk out and just feel so gross and blech.
Wow.
Blech.
Wow.
It's the only way I can describe
it.
it.
Here's the ultimate thing for me. I love when I hear that of course, rich people like Sean Hannity moved to Florida, and he now does all of his broadcasts remotely down there. He just lives in Florida and does his show, and then goes about his business, so he can go play golf or do whatever he wants to. That'd be great all year long.
All year long.
Talk to Compass about that in your next negotiation and tell them you want to broadcast remotely from Florida where you can have mojitos by the pool all day long.
And I heard mojitos are something covered by the company, right?
I don't know.
Let us know how that conversation goes, Nicole.
A girl can dream.
There you go. What's going on?
Futures are moderately higher. Friday, the Dow Industrials lost 245. The NASDAQ down 398. The S&P 500 down 73. Edward Jones says its employees will be heading to the office at least 4 days a week starting in June. Employees currently must trek to the office at least 3 times a week if they live within a commutable distance from home office locations, including St. Louis and Tempe, Arizona. That requirement was implemented last January. Bloomberg News reports software company ServiceNow is in advanced talks to buy cybersecurity startup Armis, which was last valued at $6.1 billion. The deal, which could reach $7 billion in value, would be ServiceNow's largest acquisition. Sources say the acquisition could be announced as soon as this week, but could still fall apart. iRobot, the maker of the Roomba vacuum cleaner, has filed for bankruptcy protection, saying that it would go private after being bought by Pikia Robotics, its primary manufacturer. iRobot generated about $682 million in total revenue in 2024. Artificial intelligence is where it's at this holiday season. Salesforce predicts AI could drive $263 billion in global holiday sales this year, representing 21% of all holiday orders. Companies like Walmart and Target are overhauling their AI strategies to ensure they're meeting consumers where they're shopping. Zootopia 2 regained the #1 spot at the domestic box office with just over $26 million in its third weekend of release. The Walt Disney animated sequel also became the year's second film to gross $1 billion worldwide. And finally, soccer fans have accused FIFA of monumental betrayal after latest prices for World Cup tickets began to circulate. The lowest price for the final was roughly $4,100, the highest just over $8,600.
Wow.
Who has that money?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not a soccer fan, so I guess I wouldn't be the one searching for those tickets. But I did hear somebody describe it the other day as however many matches there are going to be in this thing, it's going to be the equivalent of like 35 Super Bowls. Like each one will be so packed, then the demand would obviously drive up prices for those tickets, right?
Yes, I guess. I know I don't have the most popular opinion on this, and this comes from Papa Murray, that he's a huge sports fan, whether it be the Super Bowl or, the World Cup. It's still, you're just talking about a match, a soccer match, a football match, even concerts. They should not go that high.
Wow.
So take that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess if it's when's the last time the World Cup was held in America? I don't know. I guess if you think this is your opportunity to see it, you pay for it, right?
Yeah, I just don't care.
I'm paying a lot more for rock concerts these days than I ever thought I would. I can tell you that.
I mean, I get
maybe the last
job,
time I see them.
Oh my! Mark goes up with the whole. It's their last tour ever.
It might be,
and it never is.
It will be someday. I can argue that, right?
You can argue that, but still, you're talking about a concert. You're talking about a soccer game.
$100. It's okay. I wouldn't
I
spend
think that's fair.
I wouldn't spend $4,000 for sure.
I think even a couple hundred is questionable, but it's fair. Like at least, every Joe Schmo could pretty much afford that if they plan for it in ahead of time. But $8,000, that's
pricey.
I don't know,
stuff.
man. My Scrooge is coming out.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. So Michael comes home and he goes, honey, I need to go see this soccer match that's coming to town.
No.
But not every ticket is that much.
But the lowest one she said was over $4,000.
No way.
Is that not what I just heard?
Maybe I misunderstood.
I'm pretty
her.
sure the lowest.
Not the least. Is that for like a package?
I don't know if it's a package. I thought that's what she said.
And then
too,
so it starts around 4,000 and goes up to close to 8.
Woo!
They might not even score, and it like no.
Yeah, that is very possible.
This just sounds terrible. Why don't you get tickets, Mark, to go to the Pride match between Iran and what was it, Egypt? They're thrilled about that game. You're trying to look up ticket prices, aren't you?
She said the lowest one was $4,100.
But that's not true because I think that must be the like top range because I'm seeing tickets here from $300.
Maybe you're sitting right behind a pole where you can't even see the actual match. Your nose is literally bleeding.
Well, and
you're
it goes
up,
up
so
like
high.
East Rutherford, New Jersey, France versus Senegal on June 16th from $592. Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay, June 15th from $280.
What about that Pride match?
I don't know.
With Iran?
Well, there's so many of them. I'd have to find the one.
I wonder
from,
if that's what it is, if it's different locations. Because
yeah, my guess
nobody
is
wants to pay to go to New Jersey.
And probably for specific teams, right? Like people know which teams are the favorites. Like here's a Mexico versus South Korea match in where? JAL? $1,658. So there's certainly high ticket prices on here, but I'm not seeing, and that's TickPick. That's a secondary site for tickets.
It's true what Lisa's saying on Facebook. Prices reflect what people will pay. Absolutely. And that's why it surprises me so much when these ticket prices go so high.
After the latest phase of ticket sales, it says might cost them more than they expected, with the ticket for the final costing more than $4,000. So these are tickets, once it's all down to like the final couple of games, then that's where people are complaining about how much it's going to cost.
That would make much more sense.
That would be like the Super Bowl, the final game or two. Should England reach the final, the cheapest ticket most fans could find would be $4,185. The most expensive, $86.80.
I better get a steak dinner brought to my chair. I don't even like caviar. I guess I've never had it, but I better get caviar and a filet mignon dinner.
But
for that price.
The preliminary matches are not that expensive. They're not $4,000. They may cost you a couple of hundred.
I guess that's reasonable. I still wouldn't pay it. Like you said, I'm not a big soccer fan either.
Reasonable?
Right.
Well, if for a World Cup match, it is right.
I guess
People will pay that though for a
for Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
They paid more than that for a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
Come on. Somebody did.
That's insane.
I know, exactly. Coming up, we'll get to in other news, and I thought one of the best things that happened this weekend was the Heisman Award winner. We're going to talk about his speech, which was supposedly one of the best ever. We're going to get to all that and more for you coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it's still pretty quiet out there. We kind of slow down in these upcoming holiday weeks, but it shouldn't be too slow yet. Now, right now, 70 looks good out west into downtown. 6440 does as well. But we've got some moderate volume appearing on northbound 270, mainly between Doherty Ferry and the Clayton Road overpass, and northbound 55 right there at Bayless. But that's about it. Now, 141, a little slow, especially northbound at 21. There might have been an issue ramping on from east or northbound 21 to 141. Looks like a delay through there. But we look fine on the Illinois side in general and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
All right, don't take any chances with a wet basement ruining your goods or getting mold in your house or whatever the case may be, because you can have Home Shield Foundation Repairs get out there and fix it for you and give you a lifetime warranty on the work. Love working with Matt Hayes. He's a great guy. He's the owner. He's the guy that you'll deal with directly, and then you don't have to fret over whether or not the work is taken care of, or whether or not if somebody showed up and told you they'd fixed it and then they didn't come back and honor the warranty. That's never going to be the case with Matt Hayes. He's going to take care of that for you so you don't have to sweat it. And you just call him at 314-227-9636. He'll come out and give you his professional opinion on what needs to happen at your house to get it in the best shape possible, and then he'll talk to you about his warranty work. 314-227-9636. Call him today. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. You can go online to his website. It's HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Merry Christmas.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan from the Marc Cox Morning Show. I just want to take a second to thank all the listeners for such a great year. We couldn't have done this without you guys. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Also, don't forget, download the Marc Cox Morning Show podcast.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
All right, I was very excited on Saturday night. I was with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law and the kids, and when it came time for the Heisman Trophy to be announced, everybody had their phones out watching it live because they were also interested in who they didn't want to get it. And the kid that did win was the favorite, Fernando Mendoza. He's the quarterback for the University of Indiana, who we've talked about a lot. They're 12-0, largely because of how good this kid is at quarterback, and of course their defense and their offensive line and all that stuff. He's the one that leads every interview he does with "I give praise and glory to God," or "I couldn't do this." And he gave what was described as one of the better speeches in Heisman history. I thought it was fantastic. Play part of that for cut number 2, please.
First, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to chase a dream that once felt the world away. Standing here tonight, holding this bad boy, representing Indiana University, still doesn't feel real.
He said, Kim, I was never a highly rated prospect, but I had a lot of people that believed him. He said, for every kid out there, I am you. If you aren't, you're not one of the kids that they're believing in, just you have to have faith in yourself, and then you have to surround yourself with people that believe in you, and you can do it too.
I love that.
I think it was a fantastic speech.
Yeah, that guy just seems like he's just a quality guy.
Yeah.
So happy for him. Much deserved. Hey, one of my favorite Christmas movies is The Grinch. Also happens to be my son Easton's favorite movie, so we've watched it like 15 times. Started watching it last night.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey, that version is the one I'm talking about. And he's talked about how difficult it was to sit in the chair for 8 hours to get all that makeup on. But now we've realized it was so bad. He was actually having daily panic attacks, thought about giving back his $20 million salary because he couldn't even endure it. Said that he had, because of the nose, the makeup that they'd put on for the Grinch, he couldn't even breathe out of his nose, so he had to breathe through his mouth. The contacts covered his entire eye, so he had like a tiny little bit tunnel vision he could look through, so he had a hard time seeing. He had those really hairy 10-inch long fingers, so he's like, I couldn't even touch my face, couldn't do anything, couldn't scratch myself. He said that what they ended up doing was they actually brought in some guy who trains people in the military on how to endure torture.
Oh my God.
And that's who ended up helping him get through that. Like, for example, they said pinch himself in the leg as hard as he can to change patterns. If there's a TV on, when you start to spiral, turn it off, turn the radio on, smoke cigarettes. So he said that there's actually pictures of him sitting in the makeup chair as the Grinch, and he'd have one of those long cigarette holders because he said that the yak hair that he had for the Grinch was so flammable that he had to have the cigarette holder because he was worried the hair would catch fire.
That was one of his most iconic roles. There's no doubt about it.
So worth
what
it.
will I wear? I love that. I love that movie.
If I can't find anything nice to wear, then I'm not going.
Sue, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If I ask you, what does the front of the Philadelphia Art Museum look like? What would you tell me?
I cannot tell you.
Thank you. But it is the most iconic scene in Rocky when he is jogging and he runs up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum.
Steps,
you know the scene, right?
Yeah.
Well, the statue of him used to stand there, and years ago, the city of Philadelphia removed it. And they moved it into a museum somewhere where you couldn't see. Everybody who goes to Philadelphia, most people don't care about the Philadelphia Art Museum. They don't even know what the hell it looks like. But they did want to see the Rocky statue. So apparently they've now voted to put it back. They're going to put the Rocky statue back in front of the Philadelphia Art Museum. And some of the kind of stodgy, stuck-up people are like, we have all of these masters in there, and you want to put up this cheap piece of, sculpture that was made in 1980. And everybody's like, yeah, but more people know about that than even know that you exist.
Well, I don't think I'd look at it that way if I were them. I think I would just say, because I love an art museum, but I would just say it's a draw.
It's a draw.
That's exactly right.
Let people they'll come to see that and maybe learn a little bit about art. It's a win, I think.
Maybe they'll pay the price of admission to get in. I don't know.
Well, what's also a win is if you're stressed out during the holidays, which a lot of us tend to be with everything going on, they're saying that singing, caroling, for example, can really, really help your emotional state. That improves your health, they say, by singing with others.
Even if you're bad?
Well,
I was going to say, Mark, that's a solid question because I would scare people.
Maybe the people who have to listen to you singing, it actually is bad for your health, but it doesn't really matter if you're terrible because a lot of us think that we sound good, right? We sing in the shower and we think we sound fantastic.
That's right.
So, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, they say.
Looking at the person opening the door, watching you, knowing they're silently judging you.
It's like Elf.
You can't hit the high notes.
Buddy the Elf says that. Singing, singing in public for all to hear. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
That's right. That's Zooey Deschanel says that near the end there,
That's
right?
right.
You bet. All right. Dick Van Dyke is 100 years old. Wow. And I saw an interview with him yesterday where he said that he wasn't sure what to attribute his longevity to, except for the fact that he's never harbored anger at anyone. He goes, my dad did, and he died at 78, but I didn't, and I lived to 100.
Wow.
So he thinks the answer is, he said, I certainly had people and things I disagreed with over the years, but I never got angry, and I never felt hatred toward people. So
I think that's a huge part of it.
He's still kicking with that positive attitude. And he says he's got a lame leg, but he still tries to dance every once in a while.
Okay, did you hear this, that his wife brought out a flash mob that danced for him to a combination of all his songs and things over the years? I'm dying to see it. I'm looking for it on the internet this morning.
We'll have to look.
Isn't that great?
We will have to look for that. I'd love to see that as well.
Compilation, that's the word I'm looking for.
All right. Coming up, we're going to get to Eben Brown, by the way, with Fox News Radio. He's got more on that shooting up at Brown University. And our friend Dan Buck joins us at 7:35 with the Buck Stops Here. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your holiday with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. For your inner child and your grown-up cravings, the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Give the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
This is a Fox News alert. A Hollywood legend stabbed to death in his home. I'm Dave Anthony. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, both found dead at home in Los Angeles. And while police did not confirm that and won't say they're searching for a suspect, the Reiner family announced their deaths.
There are also some reports that among those being questioned is the Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick. He has been open in the past about his mental health issues and his struggles with drug addiction.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in L.A. Rob Reiner was 78. He first gained fame winning Emmys as Meathead on TV's All in the Family in the 1970s. Then he became a famous director of movies, from Stand By Me to When Harry Met Sally and Misery to A Few Good Men.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Reiner's last movie, a Spinal Tap sequel, just came out. The search for the gunman in Saturday's Brown University mass shooting is back on in Providence, Rhode Island.
Police admitted that the person of interest they detained yesterday morning at the hotel is not the person that is seen leaving the scene of the shooting. The AG said while there was some evidence that justified detaining this person of interest, recent evidence and lab testing is pointing them in a different direction.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis. Thousands of wreaths have been laid in Australia near the scene of an even bigger mass shooting yesterday, targeting Jews at the start of Hanukkah.
A father and son terror team turned up and attacked the Jewish community here at Bondi Beach. It's the sort of place where most Australians know or go to on their holidays. We're a coastal community. We're talking about more than 42 being taken to hospital with 15 fatalities. A 10-year-old girl who was at a petting zoo by the name of Matilda, she was mowed down. We had 2 rabbis who have also been killed, and a Holocaust survivor driver was also murdered here in this spree.
Sky News' Jonathan Lee. The older gunman was killed by police's son, disarmed by a bystander, being called a hero. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning, Monday, December 15th. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 7:03 our time right now, just 13 degrees. We thankfully do have a warm-up headed our way. We'll feel like the tropics. Dave Murray will detail that here in your forecast coming up. But for now, making headlines, 5 people were injured after a Metro bus crashed with a car and then ran into a building in North St. Louis. This happened last night around 8:15 there at the intersection of Goodfellow and Page. Police say the 5 people who were hurt have non-life-threatening injuries. At least 2 popular St. Louis area holiday events closed over the weekend because of the dangerously cold temperatures. The Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park and Garden Glow at the Botanical Gardens both canceled events Sunday. And the Botanical Gardens says if you did have tickets for yesterday, Sunday, you can use them any night through January 3rd. A permanent security force on horseback is coming to downtown St. Louis. Starting next year, the CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management tells Channel 5 about 20 policemen will be patrolling this area every day, not just for big events. St. Louis police, as you might know, already have a mounted police unit for Forest Park, so this effort, of course, would expand it to the downtown area. In sports, Blues beat the Blackhawks over the weekend. They'll be at home tonight playing the Predators at 7 o'clock. And yesterday, Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13 the final. Not so great news, Patrick Mahomes out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL. 7:04 is our time, 13 degrees. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We've got a report of a stall eastbound 6440, just a little bit past Maryville Center. Watch for that in the right lane. It's not causing a delay. We've got light traffic out there right now. Quiet through North County. Looking good on 370. Eastbound 70 looks great out west into downtown. 6440 does. Northbound 270, some moderate volume. Clayton Road overpass through Ladue Road. And that's about it on the interstates. We do look good. And that's on the Illinois side as well. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays.
You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Plus,
avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunshine in control on this Monday. It's going to get warmer, but it's a cold start this morning. A little breezy this afternoon. Also 42 for the high. Tonight, clear skies 28. Tuesday, sunny. Warming up to 52 on Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny and 58. This should be the last big Arctic surge that we had over the weekend for quite a while. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Just 13 degrees now at 7:06. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere by downloading the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, a few minutes after 7 on your Monday morning. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. Happy you could be here with us to get the day started. A little chilly out there. You're definitely going to want the warm coat. But fortunately, I think this is one of the last mornings we're going to have to deal with that.
Well, now people will just say it's global warming because they're saying it shouldn't be 58 in December.
Well, I'm going to say it's going to be the last morning we're going to have to deal with that for a while. Is that a better way of putting it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It is winter. It'll get cold again, but hopefully it's going to be in the 50s the rest of the week for the most part, probably 20s overnight, so we can deal with that. My truck would be much happier. It almost didn't start this morning, so that's a bad thing when it gets this cold. I do not have a plug-in vehicle, but with a diesel, it does have an engine block heater, and I can plug it in when it reaches certain temperatures. You have to plug it in overnight to kind of keep the engine block.
I forgot, though, about all the Teslas that wouldn't start. Was it Chicago year or two ago?
When that bad storm and it was so cold up there?
Yep.
Yeah, they were stuck. Just stuck. So we'll hopefully get warmer and we won't have to deal with any of that anymore. We are covering a couple of big stories this morning. The shocking news about director and actor Rob Reiner being murdered in his home out in California. Details are sketchy. They think they've got a family member who's responsible for this. People magazine is reporting it was one of his sons or his son, Nick, who might have been responsible for this. But again, the police have not confirmed that. They're not looking for anybody right now. And they got the neighborhood roped off, but they don't think there's a threat to anybody else in the neighborhood, which kind of tells you that they think it was probably somebody inside the home who did this. And if any more details on that come out while we're in the show, we will definitely let you know. We're going to get to this here in a second in the top stories, but the shooting at Brown University, there's a manhunt underway for the person that did it. I don't know that they've identified that individual yet. So we're going to get an update on that live for you from Fox News here coming up in the next segment, because that's weird. They thought they had somebody, then they didn't have somebody, and a number of people were killed and wounded there at this Ivy League school. And what was their motivation? I don't know. We do know the motivation in Australia apparently was anti-Semitism and hatred of Jewish people on Hanukkah. And there it was radical Islam that was involved, and it was a father and son. The guy is dead. His son is in critical condition, from what we're hearing. So we will follow that one as well if we get any more details. A number dead and a bunch more injured in Australia, where they have, correct me if I'm wrong, a ban on guns in Australia.
I thought they had some of the strictest gun laws in the world.
They do, and yet they're calling for more.
How did they do that?
They must not have had enough gun laws, because somehow these radical Islamic terrorists got their hands on a couple of guns and drove down to Sydney and shot people with them. Jeez, if we could just ban them from the world, then that would solve the problem.
I was going to say, what does that look like if they were to put that in place, those stricter gun laws? How do they even do that?
What that looks like is criminals will be criminals, and they would have created a car bomb or found some other way to wreak havoc. It's not the gun that did it. It's the people pulling the trigger that did it, and they're mentally unstable. This is what you get when you're the key to your society is diversity is our strength, and you think you have to have open borders and welcome just anyone. You would have thought, after many painful lessons of what a mistake that is, each country would know better than that, but clearly the woke ones like Australia have not. This is the one place, of course, where they were jailing you during COVID if you stepped outside of your apartment.
Literally
it's
dragging
insane.
people from the streets
Yeah.
For gathering in public during COVID.
The penal colony did not advance down there. It doesn't seem like over the years, but it is a horrible tragedy. A little later, we're going to talk to a rabbi regarding not only the start of Hanukkah, but this horrendous continued wave of anti-Semitism we see not only here in the States on college campuses, but around the world. I mean, I just don't understand the level of hatred in some of these people's hearts. It's really discouraging. All right, Dan Buck's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get to him at 7:35. Right now, Ethan, our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And somebody needs to tell the Congresswoman it'll be in her best interest. They need to tell her that the voices in her head are not real.
He's talking about Jasmine Crockett announcing she's going to run for Senate down in the great state of Texas. He said, you know what? She needs to know those voices aren't real, but in America, you have the right to do dumb things, he said.
And we've continued to act. We've continued to work with Jewish community leaders. We've continued to take all the advice from the security agencies to put in place special measures, and we'll continue to do so.
I guess that means special measures immediately, like just during Hanukkah, all year round. What are they doing in Australia? That was the Australian Prime Minister talking yesterday or overnight about this horrible shooting in Bondi Beach.
One of the things that they're examining, as far as potential motive here, obviously that's a big question. Right now we're told there's no indications of any sort of terrorism, but one avenue that they're definitely looking into is whether or not this particular individual had a specific axe to grind against that college, against that school.
That's interesting. It'll be interesting to hear what Eben Brown has to say in a few minutes. They want to tell you it doesn't have a link to terrorism, but they don't know who did it yet. How can you make that statement if you don't know who the suspect is?
But this was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. And again, we mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones.
President Trump yesterday talking about the U.S. soldiers who were killed in Syria in an ISIS attack. Remember, he had a great deal of success wiping out ISIS in his first term, and he said we will retaliate. So you can expect to hear more on that, I'm sure, coming up here in the next few days. We probably won't hear about it until after it happens, but my guess is something's about to blow up somewhere in Syria in the middle of the night. Maybe a drug boat will blow up. But if it's got a terrorist on board, who cares? Would be my point. Barack Obama sent cruise missiles all over the Middle East, in some cases targeted American citizens who had joined ISIS. So I don't know how you don't see the parallels left in this country to what's going on with these narco boats. I just don't understand that. All right, we're going to take a quick break here because we are going to get to a live report coming up next on this shooting at Brown University that left several people dead and others wounded. They still don't know who the suspect is, but apparently they don't think it was terrorism. I want to know why. We'll see what Eben Brown knows coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. I'll tell you what, we've had a pretty good commute here this morning, but we do have an accident on the shoulder. It's eastbound 70 before First Capitol Drive, and they moved that off to the right-hand shoulder. We've had a couple of stalls. There was one southbound 55 before Broadway, but that one's on the shoulder. There was another stall westbound 44 before Antire. You get the picture. But we've got some moderate volume out there. Northbound 55 at Bayless, northbound 270 at 64, and eastbound 6440. There's a report of a slowdown near Prospect, but then things open up and look pretty good into downtown. Quiet on the Illinois side as well, and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Hanson's Tree Service now offering its 10% winter discount, and boy, are we in winter, huh? Cold out there this morning. It is going to warm up a little bit. That'll be good for the crews over at Hanson's Tree Service. They will be out all over the area, and the sound of my voice taking care of people's tree problems this morning. So let them come over and take care of yours, and Chad and the gang will knock 10% off the bottom line for whatever work they do for you, removing trees, trimming branches from trees that could get bogged down in a big ice storm that could fall and injure you or your car or your fence or your home. it'll be a lot easier to deal with that now than to deal with an insurance claim later. So call 636-379-1830. That's 379-1830. That gets you to Hanson's Tree Service. Not only can they send an arborist out to your house, they can deliver mulch by the truckload. So if you want a little extra insulation around your shrubs or your trees before that next snowfall, call them today. 636-379-1830, online at hansonstree.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code NEXT for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code NEXT.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk, and you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Live, local, and conservative. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Now, if she's going to say, wait a second, we need gun control laws, there is the also shooting we just occurred in Australia in which there are gun control laws, and yet this still occurred. Again, we don't know the facts of this, but in the Uvalde shooting, we addressed not just mental illness, but also background checks, also the girlfriend loophole, other things that would attempt to address this. And I would argue that if the facts are known, you will see that Congress has acted.
Senator Murphy was just on here, and I know you voted for that legislation that you just talked about. He worked on.
Yeah, Senator Bill Cassidy there yesterday kind of countering what we already expected to happen. I mean, it didn't take long. As soon as the shooting happened at Brown University, you had the left coming out calling for gun control. If we just had more gun control, then this wouldn't have happened, is the suggestion. It can't be the guns. It must be the lack of gun laws that allowed this to happen. She doesn't even know who the suspect is yet. Listen to Prameya Jayapal on this.
And hope that these Republicans are listening to their constituents, Republicans, independents, and Democrats, who are saying pass sensible gun reforms. Don't allow these to be available to everybody anywhere in the country.
I don't even know how to address her at this point. They don't know who did it. The initial story was that it was somebody with a handgun, right? If it was a scary black rifle, you can bet she would have been all over banning AR-15s. But in this case, she has to be more generic. We need to make it more difficult for people to get these. Well, the point here is the one law that's never been addressed, and it needs to really be vetted, is the mental health law in this country, and how the FBI in the National Instant Criminal Background Check System are informed of those adjudications, right? If somebody is deemed mentally ill, and it's done so in a court, they need to be reported to the FBI so they can't get their hands on a weapon. But as we see all that often, many times they steal it. It's not legal gun owners here that are the problem. But that doesn't matter to people like Jayapal.
And the answer to the majority of Americans is clear. Make it less easy for guns to be in the hands of people who shouldn't have them. And that means passing gun safety reforms. But every single time something like this happens, we don't get the reforms. And
we don't get to every time we call for tighter gun laws, and it doesn't happen. She's in the group of people that would like you to be able to find out which gun manufacturer manufactured the gun that was used in any particular crime, and then allow the victims to sue that individual. They're selling a perfectly legal product in the United States. It's like somebody suing Ford because the drunk driver hit them was driving a Ford. It's that ridiculous. But that's the mentality of people like Pramila Jayapal. You can't reason with them on this issue at all. There's just no reasoning with them. And I don't know. We're awaiting a phone call here from our friend Eben Brown with Fox News Radio, who's been covering more on that Brown University shooting, just to give us an update on that. It's a tragedy. The president was talking about it yesterday, and again, they've got video apparently of the person leaving the scene, but we don't have any other details yet on who it was, where they were coming from,
and were they targeting
why
the people?
They did it,
right? Because they went specifically to the engineering department. It was a building there where the students were taking their final exam. So did he have some beef with people in that room, and he was targeting one person and just shot a bunch of people? The whole thing is so odd.
Yeah, very true. Let's get to Eben Brown, who's been covering this shooting at Brown University. Eben, what can you tell us? Is there anything new on the suspect?
Well, no. In fact, the person that they had been questioning has been released, saying that this is not the gunman, and so the person who they are seeking is still out there, and we don't really know, and police have not said anything more about who he could be, and that they're continuing to look for him. There hasn't been much in the way of pictures or video, and that's been a big complaint here. That in this day and age of all of us expecting to be constantly and continuously surveilled, there's just not much in terms of video. Brown University didn't have cameras or something in this building. The one piece of video of a potential suspect is just not very clear. It shows a figure in dark clothing, but we don't see this person's face. They're generally walking away from the camera, so their back is to us. It's just not a lot to go on.
Yeah, did I see, was there some initial reporting on who the suspect was? Didn't I read a story this weekend that they thought it was somebody from, like, Wisconsin or something like that? Or am I mistaken?
There was some talk about that. I don't think that really panned out.
Okay.
As of now, there's no publicly addressed information from police, from authorities, about who this person is. The person that they were talking to has been ruled out. And so that person has been released, and that's that. Brown University is canceling the rest of the semester's classes and exams. They're telling students they can leave for their winter break now. I suspect they'll be back for spring semester at the end of January, like usual. But the general public is still dealing with the fact that this gunman is out there. My
understanding was that the actual door to the building, the engineering building, was unlocked, but that to get into the individual classrooms where these students would have been taking the exams, you had to use a badge. Do we have any more information about how this guy even had access?
I heard the building has badge access, but it may have been suspended or whatnot as people were coming and going. I don't think there were exams because it was a Saturday, but there were review sessions going on. And so that may have been something that led to this person's ability to get in there. Of course, we don't know. This person may have had a badge. We don't know who this person is, right? So that's another thing to consider.
So right now we have 2 dead and at least, 9 wounded? Do we know what kind of condition those folks are in?
Various conditions. Yeah. Some are, treated for their wounds and they're just recovering and they're otherwise going to make it. Some people are in a bit more serious condition than that. There has been something circulating online from people who knew this woman, young woman by the name, I think Ella Cook is the name that they're using, and I haven't confirmed this, but it's kind of making the rounds out there. She was one of the victims. She was also the president of the Brown University campus Republicans. So now that might, people might take that in the sense that she was being targeted. We don't know that. She just might have been at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Well, good. So they're still at this point in the investigation seeking video from the public, right?
Yeah. Yes, they are. They're asking for anyone who's got anything to come forward with it. The investigators will never turn away potential helpful stuff because it's their job to go through everything. And they could know more than what they're letting on. I mean, it does feel as if they're playing this a bit close to the vest. But they've not been forthcoming, and when that happens, people begin to speculate. And in the age of social media, speculation goes far and can really rile people up.
Yep, very true. Eben Brown, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. So that's the latest from there. If anything breaks during the show, of course, we will bring that to you. Coming up, we're going to get to our friend Dan Buck, the Buck Stops Here segment this morning. We'll get to that for you. Still ahead. And Kim on a whim, of course, before the top of the hour. Next hour, Tom Ackerman. I don't watch much NFL. I did watch the Colts game yesterday to root for the old guy. We'll talk about how Phillip Rivers did in his first time back in an NFL uniform in 5 years. He's a grandpa now. We'll be back in just a minute.
We're coming up on Christmas. Very quickly here, Christmas has been and always has been a religious holiday for a lot of people throughout the world, and if not religious, just a celebration for family and friends. It's also the time of year where, while you might be enjoying or you like the holidays, there's people that are suffering, which this time of year is a really, really hard time of year for them. There's people that are suffering this Christmas because this could be their first Christmas without their loved one. Husband, wife, mother, father, child, or their second, third, fourth, 10th, 12th Christmas. So for every one of us that believe in God, and we do pray, remember that in your prayers daily, and hopefully that helps and makes a difference and makes it a little bit better in somebody's life that is suffering right now. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. God bless.
Hey, let's talk about your driveway for just a minute. Is it even? Is it smooth? Or has it started to sink down in maybe one area down near the bottom of the driveway or up near the garage, and every time it rains or the snow melts, you get a pool of water that stands there for a couple of days? You can avoid all that with my friend Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repairs. Part of his job is to fix foundations. It doesn't matter if that foundation is in your driveway or in your garage or in your basement or your front porch or your back porch. It's still a foundation of your home, and Matt is a foundation expert. So he brings his polyjacking machine out there. He fills that void that is underneath your driveway that's causing it to sink down and lifts the pad of concrete back up to where it's all even and flat again. It's fantastic. Call him today at 314-227-9636 and be sure and tell him Marc Cox sent you. You can always go to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Good morning. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Our time right now, 7:30, 13 degrees. Assisted suicide is now legal in Illinois. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the bill Friday, allowing doctors to give terminally ill adults medication to end their life. This applies to adults with a prognosis of 6 months or less to live, confirmed by 2 doctors. That law will take effect September of 2026. Dozens gathered at Keener Plaza in downtown St. Louis Sunday for the annual menorah lighting ceremony to kick off Hanukkah. The ceremony, of course, had special meaning this year following that awful, deadly attack in Australia targeting Jewish people. The Jewish community here in St. Louis says they'll continue holding Jewish events across the metro, just with added security. In sports, Blues are at home tonight playing the Predators at 7 o'clock, and Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13. Mahomes out for the rest of the season with an ACL tear. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got a stall reported southbound 170 before Del Mar. That one, it looks like they have moved off to the right shoulder. Not a bad commute this morning. We've got northbound 55 slowing around Bayless in the construction zone, but that's normal. And northbound 270, just pockets of moderate volume between 21 and 64. Southbound 270, a little slow at Ladue Road. Eastbound 70 looks great out west. It was a little bit slow at the Blanchette Bridge and at Jennings Station Road, but that's it. 64 slowing out at Prospect at Timberlake Manor, and then it opens up. Westbound, though, a little bit slow at McCausland. We look fine on the Illinois side at this hour and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
So here's how this went. My buddies got a hold of me and said, hey, we need to get together for a drink around the holidays. We picked a date, which happens to be tomorrow. And then the next question was, where are we going to meet? And I'm like, well, let's go to Lit Cigar Lounge. I mean, that seemed like the obvious choice. It's centrally located right there in the district in Chesterfield, and it's fantastic. If you've never been to Lit, you're going to appreciate it. Big, luxurious chairs to lounge in and nice leather chairs. They've got a great selection, of course, of hand-rolled cigars from the best makers in the world. The bar is unrivaled in terms of the best bourbons, any bourbon you want just about. They've got on the bar there whiskey, gin, vodka, beer, you name it, full bar available to you. And it's just a great place to hang out with friends. There's live music on Friday nights, but it's perfect for date nights, maybe a business meeting. Listen, it's comfortable for non-smokers as well. I think it's important to say that. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system because that was important to Brian when he built the place. You don't walk into a haze of smoke. It's very comfortable at Lit Cigar Lounge. You're going to love it. Maybe go there for a drink before you go to a concert down the way at the factory. So it's right there at the district in Chesterfield. Stop and say hello to them. It's family-owned and operated. Be sure and tell them Marc Cox sent you. Go to litstl.com.
Extra, read all about it. The Fed just cut interest rates again, and that means now is the time to refinance with Golden Oak Lending. Lower rates mean lower payments, and our customers are saving hundreds every month. Plus, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll pay for your appraisal. Call 314-567-GOLD today and start saving.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS number 114937.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Grandpa had a soft spot for dogs.
Yeah, he always had treats in his pocket.
He said if you're going to take care of people, you better take care of their best friends too.
Is that why we help dog shelters?
That's right. For every service call, we donate 10 pounds of dog food to local dog shelters, helping dogs waiting for a home.
Grandpa would like that.
He sure would.
Green is always grasser at grasserhomeservices.com.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative. The buck stops here.
All right, our buddy Dan Buck back with us on a Monday morning. Dan, hope you had a great weekend.
Man, oh man, I had 6 shows in 4 days, so my voice is just hammered.
I guess so.
But no, yeah, it was a fabulous Dashers weekend, and everybody had a great time. I can't believe how many fans you have on the Marc Cox Morning Show. People coming up to me going, oh, my God, we listen to you every morning. We had such a great time. We're glad Kim's back. It's like everybody loves you, Marc Cox. It's amazing. We had folks from Alton. We had people from down in Herculaneum who drove all the way out to St. Charles, Newtown for Dashers. And many of them came up just to tell me that they listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show every morning. So,
outstanding. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. That's good. That's good to hear. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what your segment is this morning. But I just want to get your reaction to this news about Rob Reiner overnight. I mean, that was completely shocking. And I think of him from of course All in the Family, but the guy was a prolific movie producer too.
Yeah, Stand By Me is still one of my favorite all-time movies. I don't know about you, but he was a tremendous writer. I think people, know him as an actor, but I think he was a better writer, producer, really, for some of what he wrote.
Yes. Yeah, very, very true. Sorry, not to interrupt what you were going to talk about, but I just wanted to mention that real quick.
You know what I haven't done in a few weeks is talk about some social media warriors. And what have I been saying for the last 4 months about the African American community? And it comes to midterms. What have I said?
You've said they're going to come back strong for Trump.
They're going to I think the numbers are going to be record numbers, and it's just incredible when you go out on social media and you look at some of these African American voices, specifically women. I mean, some strong conservative women who are leaving the Democratic Party and coming over in droves. And a lot of it's because of some of these social media influencers. And I want to feature on a woman named Brianna Riddick. Write the name down. Go out. She's on Facebook. She's on X. She's got 225,000 followers on Instagram. She is brave. She's courageous. She's a single mother who was given an ultimatum at her job. And that's the one clip I'm going to pick out, because this was the day that she had to decide, do I continue to be a conservative Christian voice for the African American community, or do I cower to her employer, who basically said, you stop the conservative content or you pick your job, whichever one you want to do. She chose to continue. And this is a clip, and we'll talk a little bit more about her crusade and her personal walk when we hear this clip. But this was the morning she decided to go for her gut, to trust her faith, to trust her convictions, and go into work. Here is Brianna Riddick on the day she made the choice. And this was about 4 months ago. And I'll tell you the result of her choice in a minute. But let's play the clip.
I am about to walk into my job and quit because I've been given an ultimatum. My job or my conservative content. I choose this because I love it. I love this. I'm gonna be broke again. That's fine. I've been broke before. I'm a single mom. I wouldn't want to die without seeing what this can become. I'm really scared. I have to have faith in me, and I have to have faith in God. I'm stepping into the unknown, but here we go. Let's do this. It went really well.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that last clip was her coming back out to the car after she said it went very well. What happened from that point on? And when she did that, she had about 81,000 followers on Instagram. Today, she has 225,000 in just a few months. Hopefully, the people in this radio audience will go out there, look at her content, follow her. I think her subscription is like $1.99 a month. And you will love her content. She is spot on. She's very topical. She goes after current events. She goes after current situations. She calls out the wokeness. She's very strong, too, against the trans women movement and feels it is such a slight and a slap in the face to real women. And she's a great lady. I strongly support everything she says. And if you want to go out there and help a social media influencer who's taken a bold step, I mean, it's not easy, with all the content creators out there to to try to go out in there and make it into a living, make it into a profession. But I think some network's going to pick her up in time. I believe she's a great I think she's a conservative voice. She was broken up, as you could tell, and very nervous when she did that particular. But when you go watch her regular content, she's extremely powerful. She's strong.
I support what she did. I think it's amazing, and that would be such a hard choice to make.
Yeah.
I don't know what her other job was, but I wonder what the decision was behind quitting versus making them fire you.
Oh, yeah, because can they actually do that? I would imagine she probably weighed that option. She didn't talk much about it in her clips. But, it must have been some type of a high-profile position where she probably, in her contract, had you cannot be, too political or whatever. And because she didn't ever go after her employer, did not even reveal who the employer was, which tells me that they probably had the right to do what they did, to give her the ultimatum. But I just applaud her boldness. And it's working. I mean, obviously, with a couple 100,000 Instagram followers, she's, I think, up over 100,000 now on Facebook. I think you're going to see that she's going to be an influencer. She's going to probably work her way up to 500,000, which you can make a living at 500,000 people following you. So we'll see where it goes. But don't you all agree that's pretty darn bold for her?
She's great. She's also got a pretty long. I saw her Facebook page here. Brianna Riddick on Facebook, and she's got a pretty long piece on Candace Owens, who's been making some headlines today because apparently she's going to meet with Erica Kirk.
Privately.
Dan, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did. In fact, Erica kind of called her out last week saying, can we just sit down and talk about some of this? Because Erica, obviously the family, both Charlie's parents and Erica are seeing things we don't see, right? And there are still questions. I think we all would agree that this smirking guy in court last week, it just seems almost unplausible that he did this alone, that he acted alone, that but I think they would be screaming louder than anybody else if there were any hiccups. If there was anything in this investigation that led them to believe there was anything else besides this shooter. And they're not. If that was my son, if he was my boy and there was major discrepancies in this case, as Candace claims, wouldn't you be the loudest one screaming about it?
And the investigators aren't going to reveal everything they're doing. They're following far more leads than we will ever know, because that could jeopardize the case if we knew every little detail.
Right. And good luck getting a jury pool, too, if you release all that information early on. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot here. I think Candace is way out of bounds, and hopefully a meeting will in some way appease her that, hey, there's enough here that this is the guy, let it go, because she's coming up with, it seems like every week Candace has a new theory. First it was the Israelis, then it was somebody else, then
Egyptian
it was
planes.
Internal. Yeah, well, and then it was internal, somebody within people within the organization were the ones who did it. I mean, just stop, Candace. We haven't even started the trial yet. Let's let it play out before you come up with some outlandish. But she's also, pimping for followers, and the more shock stuff she can do, the more people, I guess, tune in.
Outstanding. Dan Buck, thank you, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Yeah, it'll be fun, guys. Brianna Riddick, don't forget, go see her.
All right, we'll do it. We'll see you, Dan.
Hey, talk to you guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Take care. Going to get together with Dan and some other guys this week. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
Catching up.
There you go.
Having a little holiday festivities.
Where are you guys going?
It's good. What's
Do you know?
that?
Do you know where you're going?
I don't know. That's yet to be announced for our get together. I'm meeting some other friends at Lit Cigar on Wednesday, but tomorrow night is TBA.
Are you announcing what you're doing?
I guess just a group of guys that are going to get together, and we're gonna go and have a couple of drinks, and then we're all going to leave a extraordinary tip for one lucky waitress or who needs help around, or waiter who needs help around the holidays.
Very cool.
And it wasn't my job to identify that individual or that place. I'm just going along for the ride.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're glad to be part of it. It's a tradition we're hoping to start this year and then continue it every year moving forward with a core group of guys. So, should be fun. All right, what's coming up on Kim on a Whim?
I was talking during headlines at the bottom of the hour how Illinois has now legalized assisted suicide. Well, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but it was actually one of you who had reached out about this issue on our text line and had a very interesting question that I hadn't thought about, and I want to dig into that when we come back.
All right.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've had some stalls out there this morning. Not surprising since it's 12 degrees, but most of them are on the shoulder, and we're left with just kind of the usual volume. So if you are northbound on 55, it's slowing at Bayless, headed into the construction zone, and northbound 270, pockets of mainly moderate volume approaching Gravois up through Ladue Road. Southbound a little slow at Ladue Road as well. Now southbound 67 has some moderate volume ramping on to and approaching 64, and that's some slow pockets of moderate volume headed toward Big Bend. 70, some moderate volume anywhere from Cave Springs to just past the airport before that opens up. Westbound 64 slowing at Hampton, and there's some moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. This report is brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The fabulous people at The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. That's traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Sometimes I hear this from people, and I'm sure you do too. Oh, I wish I would have known that before blank. And one of those is before I retired. And I've talked about this before because that is exactly why Financial and Tax Architects was founded. FTA helps people learn how to retire by helping them understand how retirement and money works. Now, they have a class called Retirement Planning 101. It's super practical. It's free. They teach this at local colleges because, frankly, we do not know the inside track on how to retire and how to have your money last the entire retirement. We just don't. That's why experts exist. But I like FTA because their idea is to teach you how it works and let you make your own decisions. So go to a class called 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101, and start there.
Visit 971talk.com/events and enjoy Trans-Siberian Orchestra, a Christmas tradition at Enterprise Center December 23rd. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Visit 971talk.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
I'm not really surprised that Governor J.B. Pritzker over the weekend signed a bill that legalizes assisted suicide in the state.
No, not at all.
And here's what they're saying. It's saying it applies to terminally ill Illinois adults with a prognosis of less than 6 months to live. Has to be confirmed by 2 independent physicians. Says major depressive disorder not alone a qualifying condition to receive this medication, and that the patient must be able to self-administer it. They have to pass some sort of a mental evaluation by a physician to confirm that they're mentally capable of making that decision. And the patient must request verbally and in writing that they would like this.
I didn't know it was legal in the United States.
Several states. In fact, lawmakers in New York just passed this. And the governor there, Kathy Hochul, is supposed to sign it by the end of the year in order for it to become law. But it says if New York's bill is passed, over 85 million adults, representing approximately 25% of the U.S. population, will now live in states that have authorized what they call medical aid in dying. I call it assisted suicide. The question that somebody asked one of you on our text line, 314-241-9797, they talked about assisted suicide potentially voiding life insurance benefits. So I looked that up, and it says that they don't automatically void your life insurance policy. There's some sort of clause or whatever, but it says that the benefits wouldn't be paid out, I guess, to your loved ones for the first 1 to 3 years. So there is some sort of, I guess, period where they make you wait longer if you were to request this. I had not really thought about that. I have problems with it morally. I don't think this is right. I think you're going down a very, very slippery slope when you open the door to this. You know, human rights groups even have a problem with it, saying that they feel like this, well, the doctors could be encouraging people to end their life, where they would say, oh, yeah, you know, you definitely don't have 6 months. I mean, we've seen medical miracles where people were told they might live for 2 weeks and they are fine. I'm not saying that happens every single day, but this just doesn't seem like the solution to, oh, people are dealing with a lot of issues and it's very, very difficult to live, so let's just give them medication to let them kill themselves.
That's pretty much it. They prefer it to be called medical aid in dying instead of assisted suicide. But let's just call it what it is. I was surprised to hear this, currently 12 U.S. states where it's legal, and what you're saying is Illinois might be next.
Right.
California, Colorado, Delaware, District of Columbia, and D.C., Hawaii, Montana, Maine, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington State.
I don't imagine Missouri would do this, but I guess never say never.
I suppose never say never. I'm just a little surprised. I thought there was some federal law against it, but I guess not.
I guess not.
I could be wrong.
And they also have put something in place in Illinois, and I would imagine the other places where this is legal, where it's protecting any doctor who would do this, who would administer this medication. Well, actually, they're really not supposed to be administering it. They're giving it to them, and then the person's supposed to take it themselves. But they'd be protected, so they can't be sued or criminally liable or even face any sort of disciplinary action for giving it, or for that says refusing to prescribe the medication.
Wow. No, I didn't. There are all kinds of articles when you look it up that it's gaining acceptance in the U.S. I mean, generally speaking, you remember when people were traveling to Europe, places somewhere in Europe, was it Sweden or Switzerland or somewhere like that? That's pretty famous for accommodating that?
There was, I can't remember which country it was, but I remember doing some story on, I think they called it a suicide pod. Here it was in Switzerland. It looks kind of like a spaceship is the only way I can describe it to you. And the idea is that it's this really calm environment, and they'll put it anywhere you want it. They'll bring it to the middle of the woods or your home, and it fills with gas and kills you. And people are opting to do this, and they glamorize this suicide pod. And like you said, it's becoming more and more accepted. It's all again, I make this point a lot, but I think it's so important to reiterate how critical it is when it comes to wording, right? Like,
sure.
Like the unborn for abortion. We call it the preborn, right? And it's not assisted suicide. It's medical aid in dying. And it softens it, and it makes it where people have their perception of it starts to change. And over time, that just becomes more culturally accepted and encouraged, and you become hateful. I would be labeled by some people as very hateful, maybe to some of you, for saying that I don't morally agree with this. I don't think this is the solution. I think this is not going to have a good outcome for society as a whole. But they would say, Kim, you're denying people the right who are suffering for making a personal decision.
This is interesting. The AMA has apparently ruled that it is not right for doctors to do this. Physician-assisted suicide is fundamentally incompatible with the physician's role as a healer, and would be difficult or impossible to control, and would pose serious societal risk. That's on the AMA's website. So
they're labeled healers, and instead they're being used to help people die.
I don't know. Food for thought. I had no idea that was going on in as many states as it is in the U.S. All right, coming up. Thank you, Kim. Good one. Coming up next hour. Of course, we had this horrible anti-Semitic shooting in Australia that's going on. We got something going on at Brown University. We don't know about if that was connected at all, but it is the start of Hanukkah. Yesterday, we're going to speak to the Rabbi, Rabbi Chaim Landa, coming up about the anti-Semitism, about Hanukkah, all of that at about 8:20. We'll get to our friend Tom Ackerman and talk some sports at 8:35. Stay tuned.
Heidi Ricken Provost of Ricken Financial understands the importance of financial stability in your retirement plans.
If there's something we can do to help benefit your financial future and provide more strength and stability in your retirement plan, that's exactly what we do here. And we do so on a complimentary basis.
Call today, 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsend. Many of our clients are victims of negligent drivers. They put their trust in us and we help them recover physically and financially. Their words carry more weight than ours.
They guided me through every step of the legal process with clarity and expertise, ensuring that I always felt informed and supported.
Injured? Call Kaufman Townsley. It costs you nothing to call, but may cost you everything if you don't. Call 314-777-7777.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
This is a Fox News alert. A Hollywood legend is dead, and there's a murder investigation. I'm Dave Anthony. Rob Reiner and his wife were found stabbed to death in their home in Los Angeles.
We expect and hope to hear a lot more information from the LAPD later this morning. As yet, they have not even confirmed the identities of the two people they found dead in the home owned by Rob Reiner here in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles. It was left to Reiner's family to confirm that those killed were indeed the legendary director and his wife, Michelle.
That's Fox's Jonathan Hunt. There are reports that Reiner's son, Nick, is a person of interest. Rob Reiner was 78, and while he's renowned for directing famous movies from Stand By Me to The Princess Bride and Harry Met Sally, he first became famous on TV in the 1970s.
Oh, wait a second, Osh. That's not fair. You're ahead way more than $10. Listen to the meat-headed college boy over there.
And Reiner won Emmys for that role as Meathead on All in the Family. They had the wrong guy. That's what police are saying in Providence, Rhode Island, releasing the person of interest they took into custody yesterday in Saturday's mass shooting that left 2 people dead, 9 injured.
They now warn the killer remains free.
But despite a suspect being on the loose, law enforcement is not reinstating the shelter-in-place orders that had been in effect much of Sunday, as they don't feel there is an immediate danger to the public. The university is canceling all remaining classes and exams for the semester and is telling students they may leave campus for winter break.
Fox's Eben Brown. A memorial grows at Australia's Bondi Beach near Sydney, where two gunmen, a father and son, targeted Jews in a terror attack, shooting up a Hanukkah celebration, killing 15 people, wounding about 40 others.
In one vivid scene, a bystander can be seen crouched and then tackling one of the gunmen, wrestling him to the ground, taking the gun away, and then pointing him out to the police.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Police killed the older gunman. His son's in a coma in a hospital. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. Monday, December 15th. Yeah, the sun is out, but it is downright freezing right now. 13 degrees if you're just leaving the house at 8:03. Making headlines, 5 people were injured after a Metro bus crashed with a car and then ran into a building in North St. Louis. This happened last night around 8:15 at the intersection of Goodfellow and Page. Police say the 5 people who were hurt have non-life-threatening injuries. At least 2 popular St. Louis area holiday events closed over the weekend because of dangerously cold temperatures. The Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park and Garden Glow at the Botanical Gardens both canceled events yesterday. The Botanical Gardens said if you had tickets for Sunday, you can use them any night through January 3rd. A permanent security force on horseback is coming to downtown St. Louis. Starting next year, the CEO of Lodging Hospitality Management tells Channel 5 about 20 policemen will be patrolling the area daily, not just for big events. St. Louis police, as you might know, already have a mounted police unit, but that's for Forest Park, so this effort is now expanding it to the entire downtown area. In sports, Blues beat the Blackhawks over the weekend. They're at home tonight playing the Predators at 7 o'clock. And the Chiefs lost to the Chargers 16-13. And they've lost their quarterback for the rest of the season. That is, of course, because Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. 13 degrees now, 8:04. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we've got some moderate volume out there this morning, but it's really not bad. So if you're traveling through North County, things look great. We've got a pocket or two of moderate volume along eastbound 70 at 141 and past the airport, Jennings Station Road, and then things open up. And again, it's just moderate volume. That's what we see along 64 as well. A little bit out at Prospect, at Clarkson, and then in pockets from 270 through Big Bend, with westbound slowing at Clayton Skinker. Northbound 270, some moderate volume in pockets approaching Gravois through Ladue Road. 55, a little off the pace at Bayless. Quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunshine in control on this Monday. It's going to get warmer, but it's a cold start this morning. A little breezy this afternoon. Also 42 for the high. Tonight, clear skies 28. Tuesday, sunny. Warming up to 52 on Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny and 58. This should be the last big Arctic surge that we had over the weekend for quite a while. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
13 degrees now, 8:06 is our time. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show or any other show on 97.1 FM Talk anytime or anywhere. Just download the free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning to you. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. I am Mark. That is Kim St. Ange. We've got Ethan Bright right over here and Susan Thomas along with your traffic in just a couple of minutes. Remember, you can always podcast the show if you have to miss any part of it because we are here for 4 hours each morning. You can just go to wherever you download your podcasts or 971talk.com or the Odyssey app. We just try to make it as absolutely easy for you as we possibly can. We have been covering all the big breaking stories this morning, what's going on in Australia, the shooting at Brown University up on the East Coast, and, of course, the death of Rob Reiner and his wife. That broke overnight. I found out at 3 a.m. this morning that he had been stabbed to death in his home, and now more and more media outlets are reporting that they're talking to a family member, that they don't think they have an outside suspect. They think maybe it was a member of the family. People magazine's reporting that it might have been his son involved in this and mentioned drugs and that sort of thing. So if we get any more on that, we'll keep you updated. But a very sad story there. Of course, when I think of Rob Reiner, I think of All in the Family. That's the thing that comes to my mind first, and then I forget about all of the great movies that he made.
You are a meathead.
He's always going to be meathead to me. Whenever I would see him in interviews and all that stuff with Archie Bunker, that's just immediately what I think of. But apparently, my goodness, when Harry Met Sally, he did. What else we talk about? Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I just think about him as the dad in New Girl. It's funny because I know of All in the Family, but I never really, to my memory, grew up watching it. I'm sure my parents liked it.
He directed a lot of these just classic movies that'll go down in history. Apparently, he's got some incredible record of success with movies he's produced over the years.
Well, the fact that his daughter was supposedly the one who walked in and found them.
Oh, really? I have not seen that yet.
I mean, put yourself in that perspective from the daughter. Assuming it was the son, one of the sons who had killed them, the two other kids were going to lose potentially the brother and the parents, or at least the dad. I guess it might be the stepmom, but still, I mean, can you imagine?
No, I know 3 of his children at least were with his current wife, and maybe one was from his first marriage with Penny Marshall. So he had 4 kids, is what I've been told this morning. Somebody else brought up Spinal Tap, which I forgot about, and they just issued a sequel to that, I believe. So he's left quite an impact on Hollywood. And as I pointed out earlier, I didn't agree with him on politics and on just about anything. Reiner was in real life very much like his character Michael Stivic on All in the Family. He was a hard left liberal, and he didn't like Donald Trump at all. But I did see him on Bill Maher and a bunch of other things. I saw him commenting on Erica Kirk after the Charlie Kirk murder and how horrible that was. You're not going to find anybody here dancing on his grave. I had a lot of respect for him as a producer and all of that. So, okay, let's get to this morning's top stories. We've still got we're going to get to Rabbi Chaim Landa coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk more about this tragedy and the continued anti-Semitism that we saw in Australia overnight, even as we are in the beginnings of a Hanukkah. I think it kicked off yesterday. So we're going to talk to the rabbi in the next segment. But first, let's get to some of our top stories.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
And we've continued to act. We've continued to work with Jewish community leaders. We've continued to take all the advice from the security agencies to put in place special measures, and we'll continue to do so.
That's the Australian Prime Minister Albanese there talking this morning about working with their Jewish community down there. Also in that same news conference, he talked about gun control. Australia has the tightest gun control laws in the world for the most part, and yet they want to somehow make them tighter in the belief that that would somehow have prevented this. It's crazy.
Oh, but the laws do make a difference. I mean, if you look at states like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California that have stronger laws, we have gun violence rates, murder rates, mass shooting rates that are 2 to 3 to 4 times lower than states that have loose gun laws.
And so it begins in the United States. Senator Murphy there has to immediately start talking about the Brown University shooting. They don't have a suspect yet. They have no idea what the motive was, and yet the answer to the question must be gun control. We need more gun control in America instead of maybe mental health laws. They don't even know who the guy is yet.
We're going to see people that are regretting that they voted for Trump, and those people are absolutely welcome in our campaign.
Jasmine Crockett is out there. She's campaigning for Senate in Texas. She thinks there are a lot of people out there who hate Donald Trump so much that they would be willing to join the Jasmine Crockett for Senate campaign. What do you think?
These are hard. I'm talking about the people who've been here for 5, 10, 20 years, hardworking, raising families, paying taxes, law-abiding, right? All of those folks. Some, and people who are undocumented.
Yeah, how about that? J.B. Pritzker, the governor of the state of Illinois, there for you, did a big interview yesterday where he was talking about illegal aliens, right?
First of all, undocumented, according to him.
Oh, they're undocumented.
Mm-hmm. And
some of these are.
They're law-abiding, but they broke the law by coming here.
He does admit that. He says, we know that they might have broken one law by coming here, but since then they've been hardworking. They stole somebody else's Social Security number, so they've been paying taxes. We ought to give those people amnesty. So he's already pushing amnesty. You can see that being part of his campaign for 2028. He's pushing amnesty for people that broke into our country illegally, and we should just let them stay. Think about that the next time you're at Six Flags or maybe at Disney and you've been in line for 2 hours and somebody tries to cut in line in front of you after you've waited for 2 hours. It's obnoxious. Listen to the rest of what he said.
Right, those are the very people you'd want to have come into the country if you had a proper immigration policy.
Right.
And so we ought to fix it so that we actually are doing that. And giving people who are here, who I get, some of them, by the way, have broken the law because they crossed the border without permission, but also some who overstayed a visa and are here undocumented, that, we ought to have a path for those folks to stay.
Yeah. So he, you can see what the thing that he's building here, because what he said just before that in the interview is that all of the law enforcement officers who are trying to round up criminal illegals in Chicago are jackbooted thugs, and they're only grabbing people because of the color of their skin. See the straw man argument he's making here? Here it is. Listen.
I mean, marching people in uniforms in our automatic weapons through our major cities, where they're mostly just stopping people for being black and brown, not because they're actually undocumented or have committed crimes.
Yeah, that's it. Did you see Ilhan Omar, I think, said that was it her daughter?
Was that the one she had with her brother?
Wait, what? This is
Go
news
ahead.
to me. Ilhan Omar says her son was pulled over by ICE agents in Minnesota. That's the latest.
Uh-oh. Well, they must have pulled him over because of the color of his skin.
That has to be it.
I'm sure that's
proof
it.
Of citizenship. Yep.
Yeah. According to Pritzker, they're only arresting people for racial reasons.
And you should note this. It says once he was able to produce his ID, they let him go. Unlike the narrative that you want to hear a lot of the people saying. I mean, she said this, but they want to sit there and say that they're, regardless, even the illegals, they're taking them and arresting him too.
Yeah, he's setting it up for amnesty. That's what he'll be campaigning on. You mark my words. Just wanted you to hear that this morning. All right, quick break. We're gonna transition back here to some of the breaking news from overnight. This attack in Bondi Beach in Australia. I understand I was pronouncing it wrong. I was pronouncing it like Pam Bondi, but apparently in Australia it's Bondi. Bondi is how they pronounce that beach. This is where there was a massacre yesterday during a Hanukkah celebration. We're going to talk to a rabbi when we come back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it hasn't been too bad, but if you are a Kings Highway driver, we've got an accident there. Kings Highway on the ramp to eastbound 6440, and it came down as southbound. So southbound Kings Highway on the ramp to 64. Watch out for an issue there. And, of course, we've got some slow-moving traffic in that area. But the interstates haven't been bad this morning. Eastbound 70, just a little slow at Jennings Station Road. And eastbound 64, some moderate volume out at Prospect. But then it opens up and doesn't really slow again until around Lindbergh through Big Bend, and then it opens up. And again, just moderate volume. Same thing on northbound 270, moderate volume. Doherty Ferry on up through Ladue Road. And if you're headed in from Illinois, we look fine, but there's a little bit of moderate volume eastbound on the bridge. That's the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays.
You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Plus,
avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
All right, let's talk real estate for just a minute. I know what you're thinking. I know because I've been there. You're looking at the housing market thinking, interest rates are down. They just dropped again this week. I wonder what my house is worth because we've been thinking about moving. If you've had that conversation with your spouse, let me give you a phone number to my friend Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888. She is with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She is an experienced realtor with over 20 years of experience in the market and guarantees like nobody I know. I can tell you that. Her company is called Your Home Sold Guaranteed, and she sticks by it. Your home sold or she'll buy it. That's what she'll tell you going into this. So then you move forward with the confidence that your house is going to sell. She'll also promise that it'll sell for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. She'll put that in writing. If you can find another agent that'll do that, I don't know who it is. 314-325-6888. Call Gloria up. She's my realtor. She helped me sell my house last year. She'll do a great job for you, too, and she's just a great human being. 314-325-6888. Or visit her website, tell her Mark sent you, gloriahasthebuyers.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Unapologetically right. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I was here with my family. It was a Hanukkah celebration. There were hundreds of people. There were children. There were elderly families enjoying themselves. Children, kids at a festival playing, and then all of a sudden it's absolute chaos. There's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking, It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what was happening, where the gunfire was coming from. I saw blood gushing in front of me. I saw people hit, saw people fall to the ground. My only concern.
Wow, one of the victim, I should say, and a witness to what happened yesterday in Bondi Beach there in Sydney, Australia, where there was an attack during a Hanukkah celebration. We've got Rabbi Chaim Landa with us this morning from the Chabad Jewish Center of Greater St. Louis. And Rabbi, welcome back, sir. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. I know it's got to be a deeply emotional morning as well, given what we're seeing here on the video out of Australia.
Yeah, it's devastating, and unfortunately, this has especially since October 7th, we're seeing this more and more, and it's Hanukkah is one of the most joyous holidays, and the theme of Hanukkah is about sharing light. And this is the very first, Australia ushers in Hanukkah for the world. And this was the news that we heard waking up yesterday. It's devastating. It's difficult. And it's so unfortunate that this is the world that we live in. It's 2025. You would never believe this is what we'd be dealing with.
No. I heard the Prime Minister this morning spoke about all of this, and they talked about the Jewish community and working with them and all of that. I don't know that much about Australia, but clearly they've got their own issues, as we do in the United States with anti-Semitism. I'm not that familiar with what they're dealing with over there, but as you mentioned, October 7th, we've seen it on college campuses in the U.S. I mean, it's just worldwide, the threat you face.
Yeah, and clearly there's a big issue, and this is an issue that they've been discussing in Australia for some time. In fact, a colleague of mine, Rabbi Schlinger, he's the Chabad rabbi in Bondi Beach, a Chabad rabbi in Bondi Beach. He was murdered, and I heard an interview. He was murdered literally yesterday, wow. And I heard an interview from him where he spoke about anti-Semitism in Australia, and it was so powerful to hear his response. And his response was that we got to lean in. We got to lean in. We got to be, if people are going to chase us down for being Jewish, for being who we are, we're going to double down on that. And he really called on people to be prouder with and lean into their Jewish identity, to stand tall, to be confident. And so, this is a major problem that we're seeing, not just here in the States, we're seeing it all over the world. Anti-Semitism is a real issue. Hate is real. Darkness is real. But we shouldn't lose sight and get overwhelmed by that darkness. Actually, Hanukkah, the message of Hanukkah is one of light, of sharing the light. Each night we increase in light. We light another candle. And there's a certain power to that. There's a power to the light that we share. A small flame can get rid of a lot of darkness. A small light can get rid of a lot of darkness. And our job is to lean in on that light.
And that's just it. You want to lean into this. You don't want to back away and say, oh, we're scared. We're not going to continue with these events that we had planned. How do you approach this moving forward, especially, here in the St. Louis area?
So something that we saw last night, we lit the tallest menorah west of the Mississippi. That was at Keener Plaza in front of the Arch. It's a 29-foot menorah. It was freezing last night. It was absolutely freezing. I think it was like 14 degrees, maybe even got a little bit lower than that. And people showed up. Hundreds of people showed up. I think the response is we got to come out. We got to be strong. And we've been seeing this trend. We call it a Jewish awakening, where people really they lean in. They want to identify. And just like Rabbi Schlinger, of blessed memory of what he said, and that is, if they're going to chase us down, we're going to lean in stronger. I think that's the response in this Hanukkah. There's more events than ever. We're going to continue with those events. Obviously, we're working closely with law enforcement and security officials. We need to make sure that they're safe. But people need to come out. People need to feel comfortable to come out. And there's going to be public menorah celebrations all over the St. Louis area. We actually have a website dedicated to that. It's chabadstl.org/Hanukkah. And over there you can see all the events that are taking place. We're going to be out in the public. We're going to be open. We're going to be proud. And if there ever was a time that we need to share our light, it's now. If there ever was a time that we have to stand tall and confident and proud, it's now. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's a great point. And obviously we'll be praying for your safety, which is kind of did the events of October 7th and now maybe what seems to be a holding peace over there spur some of that? Do you believe that reawakening?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's actually interesting reflecting on October 7th. One of the things that we noticed in our organization, we give out free mezuzahs. Mezuzahs are the scrolls that go on the front door of a Jewish home. It identifies the home as a Jewish home.
Right.
We give those out for free. We never had more requests for the mezuzah as we did after October 7th. And I think that talks to exactly this point. People, when you're gonna come for them, specifically the Jewish people, we're gonna lean in, and we're gonna really we're gonna show up. You know, last night we spoke about showing up for Sydney, and that's what this was. We're all one people, and that goes for the Jewish people and all decent people. And when there's an attack like this, something so horrible, so devastating, the only thing we can do is to share more light, share more goodness, do more good things.
Yes. Well, Rabbi Landa, we appreciate your time this morning, and we'll keep you in our prayers. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you very much. Happy Hanukkah.
You bet. Yep. Thank you for your time this morning. It's got to be tough. It's worldwide, this problem of anti-Semitism. It's a shame. Coming up, we're going to get to our friend Tom Ackerman. Of course, we'll talk about the injury to Patrick Mahomes here in just a few minutes as well. Stay tuned.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. The Financial Times reports U.S. soft drinks company Coca-Cola has proposed sale of Costa Coffee is at risk of collapsing, with the company holding last-ditch talks this weekend with private equity firm TDR Capital to salvage the deal. Australia's Bourse operator ASX said it will cut its dividend payout ratio to 75 to 85% of underlying net profit after tax after the country's corporate regulator imposed an additional nearly $100 million capital charge. The company said the payout ratio is also expected to be at the bottom end of the updated range for at least the next 3 dividends. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Bank said an independent board committee found HSBC's $13.6 billion take-private offer to be fair and reasonable and recommended its minority investors vote in favor of the proposal. Under the offer, HSBC is proposing a purchase of 36.5% of shares in Hang Seng. That's your money now.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Too much on your list this season? Get 50% off your first 6 months of payroll at gusto.com/radio. Gusto saves you 2 days every month on payroll, taxes, and compliance. So you can go from making payroll to making gingerbread houses, checking your books to decking the halls, spreadsheets to snow angels. Switch before the end of the year and there's no need to transfer payroll history. Now that's a reason to be merry. Choose a future with Gusto and get more time for what matters. For a limited time, get 50% off your first 6 months at gusto.com/radio.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Interesting morning. We've got light traffic out there in general. So if you are eastbound on 70, you would think, oh, it's easy. But it is great from Warrenton into downtown. But looks like an accident west of there. 70 at, it's Highway A if you go north, Highway B if you go south. So there's a jam out there. But our immediate area looks great. And eastbound 64, just some moderate volume east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. And we've got 55 in pretty good shape right now. Northbound 270, mainly just moderate volume headed for 6440. This report brought to you by the fabulous people at the Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's upgrade that flooring in time for the holidays. Yes, there's still time. 10 days till Christmas. I'm telling you what, go to Michael's today, stop at one of the 3 convenient locations, find the flooring you want, and if it's in stock, they might get it installed the next day. Now, that's due to your schedule and their schedule and all of that stuff, but I love that promise. That's a commitment to customer service at Michael's Flooring Outlet. You're going to love Mike Reynolds. He does great work, and he's got 3 great stores, so you can go in and see it for yourself, or they'll bring it to you. You got a busy life. You don't have time to drive to West County there off of Olive or Old Town St. Peter's or Dardenne Prairie. Just let them know, and they will send somebody to your house. Tell them what you're looking for. Some of that waterproof flooring, some great Smart Strand Mohawk carpeting. They'll bring samples to your house, and you can look at it under your light and all that great stuff. Just reach out today. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. You go to their website. It's igotfloored.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code NEXT for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code NEXT.
Extra, extra, read all about it. The Fed just cut interest rates again, and that means now is the time to refinance with Golden Oak Lending. Lower rates mean lower payments, and our customers are saving hundreds every month. Plus, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll pay for your appraisal. Call 314-567-GOLD today and start saving. NMLS number 114937.
Still leading. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
First, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to chase a dream that once felt the world away. Standing here tonight, holding this bad boy, representing Indiana University, still doesn't feel real.
A great sportsman like Tom Ackerman.
Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
Fernando Mendoza there giving his Heisman speech, and many people were commenting, Tom Ackerman, that it was one of the greatest Heisman speeches they'd ever heard.
God bless that man.
Kid did a good job.
I love that kid.
Woo.
You know, I was telling you off air, Indiana losing to Kentucky in basketball, and that's, it's tough. I mean, I told you, live and die by the three. They're 4 for 24 from three, but I really thought about it. Like, even if IU had won that game, it would have been an awesome win. It would have been the second biggest story of the day for IU.
That's right. That's right.
Because that kid is something else. Fernando Mendoza won by a landslide, and he should have. I'm so happy for him, and the speech was tremendous. His mom, Elsa, is battling MS. She kept that private for a long time. Now, recently, she has talked more about it. She has helped raise money to fight MS. So has Fernando. Fernando dedicated the trophy to her. He dedicated the trophy to his teammates, his offensive line, his wide receiver, his defense, his coaches, everybody in his life except himself. He's just a, selfless, humble, honest, amazing kid. My mom said, "Is it possible that you could have him date your daughter?"
Can we work that out?
They go to different schools. She's about 2 hours away at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, he is really something, and he's a great player.
Assuming his draft stock just went up. Huh?
He's a great player. I have decided that I haven't rooted for an NFL team in a decade now after the Rams left town, that my NFL team will be wherever Fernando Mendoza ends up.
Is he a senior?
He's a junior, but he's going to go into the NFL draft as he should. He's going to be the top quarterback picked. So it's probably going to be one of my friends who's a Jets fan. He goes, "I hope he doesn't go to the Jets because we ruin quarterbacks over here." Although Brady Cook of Mizzou had a touchdown pass for the Jets yesterday. But
Jacksonville spanked them, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Jacksonville's for real.
Still cool, though, that he started.
Yeah. I would just love to see Mendoza end up in a good situation in the NFL, and I will root for whatever team that is. My oldest daughter did say, "What if that's the Rams, Dad?" And I said, "Well, good luck, Fernando." I ain't going there.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, forget that.
Well, they don't
Good
need
luck.
a quarterback, do they?
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
It'll probably be the Raiders, Jets. I'm trying to think of another team. Maybe
Chiefs could use a quarterback right now.
Right
now, that's true.
Yeah, it's a real shame what happened to the Chiefs overall, and Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL.
Well, if he went to the Chiefs, he could still wear red and white.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But he'll end up somewhere, hopefully, in a great situation. But for now, we got some things to work on. 3 wins to a national championship. The Rose Bowl's first up, January 1st, against either Oklahoma or Alabama. There was a funny tweet going around. It was a screenshot of Curt Cignetti at the Heisman ceremony, and he's sort of looking at the speech, and he's got this, just stone-faced look like he always has. And then it says, Curt Cignetti is physically there, but he's actually thinking about scouting the third-string right guard for Oklahoma.
That's right.
His brain is just a machine, and I love having him as our coach. So it's a very exciting time for Indiana. We've never had a Heisman Trophy winner. We've never been in this situation. Number 1 in the country, 13-0, chance to win a national championship. Last night, 60 Minutes did a piece on Indiana football that I thought was really well done. It was geared towards a national audience, but it went on and on. It was like 15 minutes. They interviewed everybody. John Mellencamp was interviewed, Don Fisher, the voice of the Hoosiers, and they talk a lot about the environment there, just being second fiddle to basketball. Nobody really cared about football. I did. I was a diehard. I used to get made fun of by people like, dude, why do you care so much about this team? Leave it alone. And I just wanted them to be good. I always wanted them to be good.
Right.
And here they are. It's amazing.
Well, good for you. Did you watch any of the Old Man Rivers yesterday, like Philip Rivers?
I was happy for Old Man Rivers.
Poor guy with that nickname.
Scored a touchdown and almost won. They only beat him on like a 56-yard field goal right at the end.
Guy can still play.
Yes.
By the way, coached by Kurt Signetti. It was the quarterback's coach at NC State.
There you go.
Then.
Yeah.
But yes, he can still sling it, man. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers is starting in the NFL. What's he? 41, 42?
Yeah.
You know,
but
funny how you're so
it was
old
a
at 41,
great
42.
story, though, that
Brady
he was
was
out of it for 5 years. He's a grandpa. He was coaching high school
But
football.
a very young grandpa.
And they pull him back. Well, true, but they
Very
pull him
young
back onto
grandpa.
the field, and he's completing passes. And
yeah, Tom Brady was 41, 42
Yeah, he
when
was. I think
when he was
you
finishing
think
his career.
grandpa, you think someone who's like 80 running out there on the field.
He's a grandpa. He has
But
a
it's
lot of
true.
kids.
He is a grandpa.
He has a lot of kids.
He has 10 kids.
Yeah. I am 50, and I still in my brain think that I could get out there and throw the ball around. I tried when I was coaching girls basketball to run with those girls, and after about 10 minutes, I'm like, man,
yeah,
I am somebody take my place, and I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not what I used to be.
Any Cardinal news? I don't want to depress people and talk about the Blues.
They did come to an agreement with Dustin May, who's a really good pitcher. He a fireball pitcher with the Dodgers, a hot young prospect, was sent over to the Red Sox in a deal, and the Red Sox, they have seen not a good record out of him, but he is a strikeout pitcher for sure. Now, the Cardinals haven't officially announced it yet, and that's because he has to go through finalizing the contract, pass a physical, all of those things. And once they do, they'll have a good pitcher in their rotation. Dustin May. It's reportedly a one-year deal with an option for 27. If the Cardinals fall out of the playoff race, and they could get even more prospects. So they're running a business here. They're trying to just acquire the most pitching they can get, the most assets they can get. They may move him again. Who knows? We'll get some commentary from them once it becomes official. But May's a good one. That's a good, solid pickup for them. I expected they would pick up some veteran pitchers for their rotation. They've done that. Richard Fitz and now Dustin May to go along with Michael McGreevy, Matthew Liberatore, Kyle Leahy, maybe Andre Palante gets another shot at the rotation. They'll add more. They'll continue to add. The Cardinals are just trying to add as much as they possibly can for the future, and they have to have a veteran like that, and Dustin's young. I mean, he's a very young free agent, so I think it's a good pickup, and they feel like they've added enough coordination on the pitching side that they can revive careers of a guy like that, and I think you'll really like him.
That's good.
Yeah.
And any big prospects we're looking for to maybe see action next year?
I think in terms of prospects, I can't wait to see J.J. Weatherholt.
Yes.
He will be a household name in St. Louis. He is going to be a very, very good big league player. Second baseman. Could he play third? Possibly, but you'd have to see Arenado and Gorman go, I think, in that scenario. I think he's your starting second baseman if Brendan Donovan is traded like I think he will be. And then, of course, you've got this kid that they drafted out of Tennessee, Liam Doyle, who is totally wild. I mean, he's just like
wild.
this,
He's like the mad Hungarian.
Yeah, he's got this great fastball, great attitude. He's a starting pitcher that I think will be part of this team for a while too. And then they'll continue to stack prospects. They're gonna do that and try to be great for years to come. Don't think of this as what they're going to look like in 26. Think of this as 27, 28, and beyond. They want to be a machine again. And so to do that, you've got to pile up the best prospects you can possibly find. Fortunately for them, they have one of the brightest minds in the game doing just that in Chaim Bloom. So it's a very good situation to be in.
Sounds good. Tom, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Go
you, my
Hoosiers.
friend.
Appreciate Congrats on the win.
Yeah, congrats.
Congrats
Well,
on the
thank you.
Cats.
I wasn't going to bring it up because we're having a bad
No,
season.
I said it in the beginning, but
yeah.
congrats on the Cats beating the Hoosiers in the first of I hope many between those two.
I was
It
nervous.
was great. I was calling the Billikens game. I didn't get to see it. SLU looks good, by the way. They're 9-1. They beat San Francisco, but congrats.
All right. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. We'll be back here in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, on the roads this morning, it hasn't been bad. Now, if you're just headed out, you're thinking, well, it's not bad at all, Sue. We did have more volume earlier, but northbound 55 is in great shape from down south into downtown. 70 looks good. There's just a little moderate volume on eastbound 6440 on either side of the inner belt. If you're headed in from Illinois, we look great on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Point with an E Pest Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Tired of mice? Point Pest Control finds their entry points, eliminates the infestation, and seals them out for good with our exclusion services. Mention Annie to get 10% off on top of any other special. Call 636-798-0023. Visit Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
Ryan Wiggins here from Wiggins America and the Annie Fry Show. One of the best things that's under-celebrated about the holiday season is the time off, resetting for the coming year. And boy, do we have a big one ahead. Looking forward to it. Merry Christmas.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud, and you never let me know, so I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk, and you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Happy Chanukah. I have no idea what Chanukah is, but happy Chanukah because they said so. Anyway, God bless you, babe, and enjoy Chanukah. Have a wonderful time.
What is that?
That will forever be one of my favorites. That is the singer Smokey Robinson, and he started doing one of those deals where they pay celebrities. What's it called, Ethan?
Cameos.
Oh, yeah.
And you could send in your request, and he would record a greeting for you. And somebody sent one in asking him to wish a particular person Happy Hanukkah, except they spelled it with a C. So when he got the copy, he had no idea what Chanukah was, but he wished her Happy Chanukah, and he sent it out. And he since apologized for it. But, like, why would you not ask?
Yeah, ask for clarification that's probably not what they meant.
It's what we learned is it's silent. The
right.
CH often, just like Chabad, right? Chabad.
Happy Chanukah. I have no idea what Chanukah is, but happy Chanukah because they said so. Anyway, God bless you, babe, and enjoy Chanukah.
Whatever it is, enjoy it.
Whatever it is, please enjoy it. Happy
Chanukah.
Happy Chanukah to you. I don't know why
Chanukah.
I don't know why that's still playing over and over and over again.
I'm just thinking of the Adam Sandler when he's like, Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Hello, Veronica. Happy Hanukkah. Yeah, that's also one of my favorites. All right. So off that subject for just a minute, I wanted to mention a couple things here before the top of the hour. I got a chance to go out and meet with Grant Shelton. And what an interesting thing. Of course, if you drive a diesel truck, I don't know how many people in my audience drive diesel trucks, but I'm certain there are a number of people out there who are working and who own businesses and deal in diesel trucks. I got a chance to meet with Grant Shelton, and we're talking about what he does for a living. And they run one of the few independent diesel repair automotive groups, like in the Metro West. And if you're out anywhere in St. Charles County or Lincoln County or Warren County, Shelton Automotive Group does diesel repair on trucks like mine. Like if I called tomorrow to a Dodge dealership, try to get my truck in, it might take me 2 months. They could probably help you out tomorrow. They sell work trucks and diesel work trucks and stuff as well. But just a shout out to those guys. If you're looking for help with your diesel, you're having trouble with it, you can't figure out what's going on with it, you need to get it serviced because you need to get around, call Shelton Automotive Group out in Warrenton and tell them you heard me talking about them, and just Google it. You'll find it out there on Spady Road in Warrenton. Great group of people. The other thing I want to mention this morning is you've heard me talk before about some of the great trips I've had a chance to take. I got to go to southern Italy with a group of our listeners 2 years ago, and last year I got to go to Central Europe with a group of our listeners. So there's been a core group that's gone on both of those trips. Well, we're about to announce a new trip. It's probably starting January 14th or 15th. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak preview because we're still about a month from officially rolling this out, but you could technically sign up like now before we start advertising it officially, and go ahead and get your name on there because it's probably going to fill up. They keep these tours relatively small. They'll be about 30 people, which is 15 couples, although you don't have to be a couple to go. Obviously, singles can take those spots as well. And we had a couple of singles on our last trip that we went on. But it's with Colette Travel. You can find details about it on 971talk.com/events. It says travel with Marc Cox. Next September 30th, we're going on a 10-day trip to Switzerland, and then we will travel to Austria and Bavaria, and it's just, I can't wait. There's a link to the itinerary so that you can see it up there. And it's just going to be fantastic. We're going to spend the bulk of our time in Lucerne and Bern, and then we're going to take side trips out to Salzburg, and it's just going to be fantastic. You can go on and find out more details again on our website with specific itinerary. The price includes airfare from St. Louis. So we'll go to Bern, Switzerland. We're going to go to Lucerne. We're going to visit Austria and Innsbruck and Salzburg, as I mentioned, Bavaria, where some of those big, beautiful castles are. And in fact, the tour ends in Innsbruck. So if you want to go, get in early. I'm just telling you, we're going to start advertising this in the middle of January, but you can actually get a head start on it right now, and you can book it. Just go to our website at 971talk.com, or you can just call Colette Travel at 800-581-8942. But if you want this specific trip, it's easier to link to it from our website there at 971talk.com/events. And there's actually going to be a meeting here with the Colette people in February for people that have questions. We're going to get together with them out at the Lodge de Pere on February 24th, and then you can get together. I'll be there. The people who may have traveled before on these trips will be there. So I'm hoping we get some from that same core group going, and then some new friends who want to travel, who are like-minded, who love to go see the world. We've had such a good time and made such lasting friendships. In fact, Saturday night, my wife and I are getting together. We're having a Christmas gathering with a bunch of the people we've been traveling with the last 2 years.
That is cool.
These people have become personal friends, and they're all great human beings, and we've had a great time. So hopefully you can attend that. All right, that's going to do it for us. We've been covering the stories all morning from Australia, the tragic shooting there during Hanukkah, from Brown University, where they still don't have a shooter. And already the left up there is calling for gun control. They don't even know who did it, what their motive was, anything. They used a handgun, but they're already calling for gun control. I have a strong feeling that that the Kilmeade Show is going to be covering all of that for you in real time this morning. If there are any advancements, and of course Annie and Mark later in the day will be doing that as well. And also the death of Rob Reiner. What a shock to the world. I just saw that guy in an extended interview the other day with Bill Maher. So 78, he was still very active. Didn't agree with his politics, but he was a hell of a director and a good actor, and we're very sad about his passing this morning. Have a great day. Kim and Ethan and Sue and I will see you right back here at 5 a.m. tomorrow.